You're listening to part 1 of this audiobook. Enjoy the story? Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue listening. Now, let's begin part 1. Chapter 1. Touch the protagonist when you land. In the void. Ding. The host died to save people because of this life. Achievement unlocked. All 10 lives died to save people and unlock the system activation conditions. Lu Yat looked at his surroundings with a dazed expression, and in the darkness, he could vaguely see a little starlight in the distance. What the hell? Let's talk when the system comes out. Did you do it on purpose? Otherwise, why do I die to save people in my 10th life? What benefits do you have to gain? Lu Ye stared at a blue light spot in front of him angrily and remembered the whole story. Originally he was an orphan and single and social animal, but one day I saw someone jumping off the building and rushed to the top of the building based on the 8 principles of socialist peaceful coexistence. And when the jumper was attracted by the onlookers below, he rushed over and hugged the jumper's waist. Because the fence on the roof was relatively low, the rescued had a bit of strength after holding it down, so he pushed hard when he broke free. As a result, he stepped on the drain and slipped, and his waist just pressed against the guardrail. Coupled with the unknown impact force, Lu Ye changed from a rescuer to a jumper. Lu Ye was very angry. This way of dying is simply not the most bizarre, only more bizarre. Host, please be patient, because you die so miserably every time, but you also save one person every time you die. So Heavenly Deo can't stand it anymore, and the specially evolved and created system is used to help the host become stronger, and at the same time, the host will not die once to save a person. And when the host's strength is strong, can't you just want to die? The system replied mechanically. Wow! What a powerful reason! Come on, what ability do you have? I'm so miserable now, what can you give me? Lu Ye looked at the blue dot in front of him expectantly. Please rest assured, the system can satisfy all the wishes of the host, of course, except for resurrection in the real world. So I can go to another world? I'm going to the world of One Piece/King of Pirates and have all the abilities of anime except pirates. Can you do it? Lu Ye asked expectantly. Please rest assured, host. Have you begun to accept the inheritance of abilities? Of course, Lu Ye nodded impatiently. Begin the inheritance. The system failure is blocked by the law of indescribable energy, and only the first inheritance world succeeds. The world is Jackie Chan's Adventures. The first mission, Host's Choice, has been completed, and the host will be rewarded with a cow spell and a ninja mask. Hey? Are you kidding me? Where is my Dragon Ball, Naruto, food, or Marvel's gem? You also give me the capital that is invincible in the world. Lu Ye shouted loudly. The dream of invincibility was shattered before it even started. But the system didn't listen to Lu Ye's nagging. The world of One Piece/King of Pirates has been selected. Start to recast the host's body, start to travel, and release the first mission, join the Straw Hats. The reward is a random spell and a random 8 demon experience card. After saying that, it turned into a streamer and rushed into Lu Ye's mind and opened a black hole in place, instantly sucking Lu Ye into it. East Blue is close to the Red Soil continent. Nami-san loves report. There is a large rain cloud ahead, and there should be a storm below. A yellow-haired, curly-browed man in a black suit looks ahead with a pair of binoculars on the lookout of a chauffeur boat. There was also a green-haired man beside him, and an orange-yellow girl was checking with a map. It seems that I have almost returned to the original route. It should be almost time to see the Red Earth continent. The orange-haired girl said. Suddenly a pair of long hands reached out to the observation deck, and a young man in a yellow straw hat pulled himself up with his hands. Ah, I'm finally going to the Great Route, the Straw Hat boy said happily. And patted the yellow-haired curly-haired boy beside him with his hand. Sanji, it's almost here. It's almost there, it's almost there. Sanji instantly kicked his foot into the face of the straw hat boy next to him. It hurts. Luffy. Luffy, sorry. Zoro is almost here, it's almost there. Luffy turned his attention to Zoro next to him. Stop shooting! Zoro yelled. Is this chart really like this? Nami looked at a black cloud in the sky. Suddenly I saw a black spot that fell from the sky and rushed towards the ship at a very fast speed. Everyone, look at what that is! Nami shouted, pointing to the black spot in the sky. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji also stopped fighting and looked up at the sky. In less than half a minute, the black spot can already see the outline clearly. That's a man. Luffy's mouth widened. It's amazing. Can that person fly? Do NT look at Luffy stupidly. You can't save that person. If you don't save him, he will fall down and die no matter where he falls. Sanji said to Luffy. Luffy put his hand on the straw hat on his head. Yo xi, here I come. Rubber rubber. Network. In an instant, Luffy's hands were crossed and extended to the sky, appearing as a big trampoline-like net, and the figure slammed onto it instantly. Duan. Because the impact force was too great, the boat was smashed and disembarked, but with the net buffer, the people did not receive too much impact, and the 3 people on the observation deck jumped off. This guy is alive or dead, Luffy said, poking it with his finger. It shouldn't be dead, and his chest is still up and down, but whether he can survive depends on the person's fortune. Zoro crouched down and checked. Nami also ran over to look at this person at this time, and then looked at the 3 of Luffy. Luffy, please drag him in quickly. When Luffy came to the house and put him on the hammock, Nami said, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, come to the conference room. I have something to tell you. Oh. Everyone walked towards the conference room, and in the conference room, look at this. Nami snapped the chart on the table. Zoro and Luffy looked at the chart in confusion with their small heads. I heard people say that the chart is also drawn like this. If it is true, the entrance to the Great Route is on the mountain. Nami looked at the 3 and said. Mountain? Do you want us to hit the mountain? What do you mean? The 3 people's doubts increased again. But the picture shows the canal going up the mountain, maybe let's climb up the canal, Nami said. Fun. What are you talking about? How can a boat climb a mountain? How could what Miss Nami said be wrong? At this time, Usopp, who was ignored by others, finally caught his attention. Help, someone here. Someone here. Someone here. I said who would help steer the rudder, and the rudder won't move. Usopp struggling to hold the sheep's head rudder and shouting. Sanji-kun, go and help Usopp, I can't think about it anymore, Nami said irritably. As ordered, Nami-san. Sanji rushed over and pulled the rudder together. Hey! Sanji's face was also ugly in an instant, and he couldn't move the rudder. Don't you think the current is strong? Said Usopp, panting, tensing his body. Ocean current? I know. 4 ocean currents will converge along this canal to the top of the mountain. If we fail to enter the canal, we will smash into pieces like a red earth continent. Nami said heavily during the interview. Dark clouds drifted over, and light rain began to fall in the sky. Sanji-kun, I'll leave the sails to you. Hey Nami-san! Help Luffy! Luffy put away the sail and looked up. Ah! I see the incredible mountain. The rest of them hurried out and looked at the mountain in front of them. Nami, where is the entrance to Nami? If you continue like this, you're going to hit a rock wall. Luffy shouted excitedly. Nami! What to do? Usopp asked loudly. Keep a straight line in this direction. Nami replied affirmatively. Near the entrance and exit, Usopp and Sanji broke the rudder due to the fast current. Yet. Ah! Hey! The rudder is broken. Everyone shouted, look at me. Rubber rubber. Balloons. Luffy jumped out instantly and blew his body up with gas, jumping between the boat and the rock wall, relying on the elastic force of the rubber to hold the boat bounced off. Luffy! Grab my hand! Zoro said, and Luffy grabbed Zoro's hand and bounced it back to the ground. Alas! While everyone was cheering, Lu Ye in the boys' room also woke up. Hey? What the hell is this? Why am I on the ground? Lu Ye looked up and looked around, a few wooden barrels and a few hammocks. The system said that I entered the world of pirates. I should be on the boat based on this situation. I hope it's not some vicious pirate, Lu Ye muttered to himself. System, come out and let me see what I have, Lu Ye thought. Does the host use the statistics panel to view? Okay, just like an online game, you can tell at a glance what equipment is there. What should I look at? As soon as the voice fell, a light curtain appeared in front of him. Lu Ye human. Constitution 10's body recast for the host is the level of ordinary people in this world. No ability. Items, the cow spell increases its power by 300 times, the ninja mask has cleared the negative effects, and the shadow ninja can be summoned. The strength is equal to that of a well-trained marine. Existing quests, join the Straw Hat Pirates quest and have received a random spell and a random 8 demon experience card for successful quests. There is no penalty for quest failures. Hey, is it okay to not complete the task? Lu Ye asked curiously. I think many others have to force the host to do the task. No host, because you are too miserable, the system will not force the host to complete the task. Accept or not follow the host's wishes, that is, don't think about how lazy you are when you are hanged by the people of the pirate world. Lu Ye's heart is very speechless, it really is a system of self-improvement. Now I should have the power to protect myself, and the cow talisman has given me 300 times the power. As long as this ship is not a Logia Devil Fruit or a more powerful supporting role. After thinking about it, Lu Ye asked the system, how should I use the cow spell? The host doesn't need to worry, because the host and the system are one, so as long as the spell is placed in the system space, the host can also use the spell's ability, don't worry about someone stealing it. Oh, that's fine, the system will give me the mask. As long as the host recites the name of the item silently, the item will appear in the host's hand. Oh, so that's how it is, ninja mask. Lu Ye said his name silently, and the mask instantly appeared in his hand. Lu Hua took a closer look. Huo, the ugly mask, the red face, the yellow horns, the fangs, just like the ancient evil spirits. Lu Hua put on the mask and walked to the door. Time to go and say hello to the owner of our ship. Enjoying part 1 so far? This is only the beginning. Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue the story. Now, let's continue. Chapter 2 I think you are good people. You bastards. You actually ruined my keel dream. A man with a long face and squinting eyes pointed at the Straw Hat Gang on the railing. It turned out that it was a person in front of him who hoped to achieve immortality through the keel, but he actually hid on the boat and only came out now. What's wrong? None of you can move me. Ha ha ha. The man was laughing. Ah, there is a keel. Nami suddenly pointed to the ground, the man looked down, Nami ran over quickly, and kicked the man's foot. Ah! The man followed the voice and fell into the ocean current. Goodbye. Nami said goodbye to the man with a smile. Oh! That's how it is. The 4 confused people exclaimed, but they didn't expect to solve the enemy so easily. Hey, let's go watch the boat. Everyone, Nami said. Wait a minute. Zoro suddenly looked at the stairs leading to the lower floor. What's wrong? Nami and Usopp were still a little puzzled. Luffy pressed the straw hat, and Sanji also lit a cigarette. Swish! 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 Suddenly, a dozen or so men in black emerged from the ground, all dressed in black and with red eyes, some on the railings, some beside the straw hats, and surrounded the protagonists in a circle. How come there are so many people suddenly? Nami and Usopp asked. It seems to be a devil fruit ability. It appeared silently. Sanji took a breath. This might be a fierce battle. The one at the stairs, please come out too. Zoro said and bit a knife. Everyone, don't be nervous, I have no ill intentions. After all, I saw that I was in an unfamiliar place when I woke up. This is just my protective measure. Speaking of our protagonist, Luya came out of the stairs, wearing a black plaid shirt and a ninja mask on his face. Wow! It's scary! Cried the timid duo Usopp and Nami. Ugh! That's scary! Luffy's mouth grew too. Now Luya has a red face with a mask, and his upper and lower fangs are exposed, and there are a pair of yellow sharp horns on the top. No matter how he looks like a devil. Don't be nervous, everyone, I just want to ask, where are you now? Luya glanced at the straw hats. Instantly felt familiar. A boy in a red jacket with a yellow straw hat stretched his mouth and fell to the ground, a curly eyebrows with yellow hair, and a sword in each hand with one in his mouth. How could he look more and more? Where are you familiar? Oh who? I won't fall and be saved by the protagonist, right? I'm afraid I'm not the son of destiny right now. Before Luffy and the others could figure out what Luya meant by this sentence, the surrounding black ninja nodded, instantly turning into a black shadow and disappearing in place. Wow! Sugui! Luffy's big eyes started to shine again. Who the hell are you? What are you doing on the boat? Zoro and Sanji didn't let their guard down, they knew the dangers of devil fruit power users. I'm sorry. Luya took off the mask and took back the system space as he spoke. It turned out to be you. Luffy looked at Luya in surprise. Haha. It's not a shame that I rescued the person. The nervous Luffy actually ran to Luya's side and patted Luya's shoulder. You summoned so many people in black to surround us just now, we are not sure if you are a good person. Sanji looked at Luffy with a headache, and said to Luya. Actually, I just made sure that the people on this boat are good people or bad people. Luya grabbed Luffy's hand and smiled at the remaining four. I think you are good people. Yes, he must be a good guy, I sense it. Luffy laughed. Yet. The rest of the crowd had black lines on their faces. Thank you for your help. Luya Vivi bowed and thanked Luffy and the others. You're welcome, you don't know, I was God Usopp when you fell. I caught you with canvas and hemp rope. If you want to thank me, thank God Usopp. When Usopp saw that this person wanted to thank them, he jumped out to take the credit. Zoro put down his knife and Sanji also put down his feet, but he still didn't put his guard down. After all, in the world of pirates, it's not that you saved his life, so you won't betray or kill for money. This is a world where the weak eat the strong. Luya raised his head and said to Luffy, My name is Luya, what are your names? I want to join you first. You can also see that I have nowhere to go now, and I just want to find a group of companions to sail with. I wonder if they can let me join this group? Okay. Luya, you will be our companion from now on. Luffy replied with a smile on his hips, My name is Luffy. The yellow-haired curly eyebrow is called Sanji. The green-haired three knives are Zoro, and the orange-haired is Na Beauty, the long nose is Usopp. Ding! The task of joining the protagonist group is completed, and the Dragon Charm and the 10-minute experience card of Basha, one of the 8 demons, are rewarded. The voice of the system sounded at this time. Dragon Talisman? It's alright, at least there is a means of long-range attack. Luya wanted to see what abilities the demons still had, when he suddenly found that the water flow in front of him had been disconnected. Luffy. When the rest of the people wanted to say something. I think you should look ahead, we seem to be at the top of the current. Luya pointed to the front. Everyone turned their heads and saw that the boat had already flown out of the ocean current and stopped in the air for a few breaths, and then it started to fall down. Boom! The boat hit the water, and because of the downward current, it dragged the boat down quickly. Due to the high altitude, there is a lot of dense fog around, so everyone can only put down the guard against the new crew and observe the surrounding situation first. Hey? What's that sound? Zoro asked. Did you hear anything? Sanji's voice came at this time. Nami-san, I saw a mountain. Nani? How can there be a mountain? At this point the ship finally broke through the thick fog. Ah! That's not a mountain. Black walls. That's a whale. Lu Yi's heart was also shocked at this time. After all, there is a big difference between watching anime and reality. He really knows what it means to cover the sky. What to do, what to do, what to do. Want to fight it? Idiot! Is this an opponent that can be beaten? Turn around! Nami hurriedly directed them. I'm here to help. I'm coming too. Usopp, Sanji, and Zoro hurried to the rudder. Ah! I thought of a good idea. Luffy said and ran to the anchor rope storage below deck. Lu Ye also hurriedly ran, as in this situation, if there is no rabbit charm or chicken charm, there is no way to deal with this situation. Ninja mask. After Lu Ye recited the name in his heart, the mask appeared in his hand. Lu Ye put the mask on his face and summoned the ninja group directly. Go and help pull the rudder. Lu Ye ordered the rear ninjas to split into two groups instantly. One group hugged Zoro's waist, the other group hugged Sanji's waist, and started pulling. Lu Ye also quickly ran to Usopp's side to push with him. Since his arm strength is the normal level of an adult, he has about 80 pounds of strength, but he didn't take into account the blessing of the cow spell. Under the blessing of the cow charm, the arm strength can reach 12 tons. So the price is that the little remaining rudder is also uprooted. E=0, alas! Everyone was dumbfounded. What could they do now in this situation? Suddenly, there was a bang. Everyone hurriedly ran out. It turned out that Luffy used the impact of the shelling to stop the speed of the boat, but because the speed was too fast, the boat still hit the whale and knocked off the sheep's head. Luffy was still glad that he heard a boom sound when he was very clever, and when he looked back, he found that it was his special seat that had been knocked off. On deck. Run! Everyone quickly took out the oars and started rowing. When the boat rowed to the side of the whale, everyone was glad to see the big eyes. Maybe it's too big. So you didn't find us? Who knows? In short, let's run away before it finds us. Lu Ye looked at the Mary, which had no sheep's head, and suddenly remembered, as if Luffy attacked the whale because the special seat was gone, and the ship was engulfed. But if he wasn't swallowed, how could he meet the ship doctor on Roger's ship? When Lu Ye was still thinking about whether to persuade Luffy. What did you do to my state seat? And stretched his arm straight to the whale's eye. Hey! Everyone has no love, what are you doing? Zoro and Usopp kicked Luffy down. Everyone was looking into the whale's eyes, just when everyone thought they were hiding. Hey! The whale's big eyes instantly turned to their boat. Hey! The whale opened its mouth and began to swallow the sea water, and the boat began to be sucked into the whale's mouth with the current, and Luffy was also shaken out by the bumpy boat. Luffy! The crowd shouted. Luffy instantly stretched out his hand and grabbed the whale's teeth, and then climbed to the top of the whale, at which time the whale also swallowed the boat and began to sink. Spit out my buddies! I have to go on an adventure with them. Luffy slammed the whale's head vigorously, but compared to the whale's huge size, his strength is no different than an ant biting an elephant. Finally, when the whole whale was about to sink, Luffy finally found a door on the whale's head. Meanwhile inside the whale. Why is there a blue sky and white clouds inside the whale shark? How come there is still a house? Is this a dream? Must be dreaming. Everyone was amazed. Suddenly a king squid jumped out. Zoro put his hand on the handle of the knife, Sanji raised his foot, Lu Hua also waved and summoned the ninja army, but just as he was about to start, the king squid suddenly he was pierced by 3 spears and fell down. At this time, everyone saw a dark shadow appearing in the room and Zoro and Sanji entered a state of alert again. Lu Ye already knew that it was Crocus, the ship doctor on the One Piece / King of Pirates, so he didn't say anything, but he was on guard. After all, he is also a part of the ship now, and he can't say that he will be one of the top fighting forces of the Straw Hats in the future. After waving their hands to summon the ninja army, the ninjas were scattered and alert. On the surface, it seemed that the Straw Hats were now crowded. Where is this place? Why is there a door and a passage in the whale? Luffy tilted his head and looked at the long road in confusion. 3rd chapter I don't think so. Crunchy Shadow began to pull on the rope connecting the 3 spears, then put the rope aside, and walked out slowly. There is also a circle of feathers with purple on the bottom and yellow on the top. Everyone in the Straw Hats also stared at Crocus, and Crocus also stared at the Straw Hats. While staring, he walked to the reclining chair, sat down, took out the newspaper, raised his legs, and looked at the Straw Hats. Come on, we're not afraid of you. We have cannons. Usopp ran to the restaurant and yelled at Crocus. Crocus instantly opened his eyes and stared at the Straw Hats. The atmosphere instantly dropped to freezing point. After a stalemate for a few seconds, do it, it's going to die. Nami and Nami were in cardiac arrest. Who do you think will die? Lu Ye asked. I. So it's you. Sanji almost exploded, thinking he was a strong enemy. Zoro patted Sanji on the shoulder, hey don't get excited, and then asked, can you tell us where this is, old man? Who are you? Crocus suddenly stared at the crowd with wide eyes again. When asking someone else's name, it's polite to say your own first, isn't it? Yes. My name is Rorono. My name is Crocus, the caretaker of the Twin Cape, 71 years old, Gemini EPUB, Crocus replied in a flat tone. Can I hack him to death? Zoro couldn't help but draw his knife. At this time, he was asking his teammates' opinions. Calm down, Sanji said. Lu Hua also wanted to go out quickly, so he asked, Master, do you know how to get out of this place? Where? Crocus pointed to a large iron door at the rear of the ship. There is a door, so let's go out quickly. Lu Ye directly ordered the ninjas to paddle, but before it started, the whole space began to shake. Ah, what's the matter? Nami yelled. We're not going to die here, are we? Usopp cried while holding the boat pole. Has Laboon started again? Crocus said, dropping the newspaper and jumping into the acid. At the same time, in the unknown space above. ISS Wednesday, listen up, the stomach is on the other side of the door, we're targeting this whale, just kill it and we'll have a few months worth of stock. Got it, R9. When a man and a woman were plotting whale meat here, suddenly, Luffy's voice came from the empty corridor behind. It turned out that the swaying of the whale caused Luffy to fall, and Luffy was a rubber man, so he bounced faster and faster, and bounced toward Wednesday. Duan! Luffy smashed on the 2 of them, and took them to smash the door open. The 3 of them fell towards the stomach acid below. At this time, Sanji, Zoro, and others couldn't help but wonder when they saw Luffy's appearance. Luffy? Why are you still carrying 2 weirdos? Ah! Everyone is here. Luffy was surprised at first, and then said with a frown, can you save me first? As soon as he finished speaking, he followed the 2 weirdos and fell into the stomach acid. Lu Ye took a look, then he called the ninjas into the water to save people. After Crocus injected the sedative into Laboon's body, Laboon also quieted down, while ISS Wednesday and R9 and Luffy were also pulled up by Lu Ye's ninjas. Although the ninjas looking at Lu Ye were not easy to mess with, the 2 still had some confidence in their own strength, so they stated their goal of killing the whale, and aimed directly at the top to shoot. Crocus just came out of the door and saw in this scene. He directly accelerated and ran over to block the cannonball with his body. This old man actually stopped him with his body. Is he protecting this whale? Usopp and Nami couldn't believe it. Stop making senseless resistance. If you want to protect this whale, just try it. Yo-hoo-hoo, ISS and R9 started to be a monster again on Wednesday. When the faces of the two people collided together and sent out the beautiful voice and fainted, it turned out that Luffy shot. I somehow want to hit them. Luffy said with an uncomfortable face. Afterwards, Luya let the ninjas row to the small island boat. Luffy held the coconut tree and didn't let go. Usopp pulled it below. ISS Wednesday and R9 were tied up. Nami and the others were listening to Crocus telling about Laboon's life experience. It turned out that it was a team that Laboon used to work with. If they couldn't take Laboon away, they left Laboon in the Red Soil continent. As a result, the wait was 50 years, so Laboon would hit the Red Soil continent from time to time, hoping to pass through. Everyone in Crocus rested for a while and then followed the old man to the gate. Luya let the ninja row the boat and everyone had nothing to do to chat with Crocus. Everyone learned that Crocus was actually a doctor. Really? Then you will be our ship doctor? Luffy began to solicit. After all, the ship's ship doctor is an indispensable one. Forget it, I'm old now and don't have the same vitality as your young people. Crocus said and got off the island boat, climbed up to the platform built by Laboon's body, turned the switch, and the door slowly opened with a buzzing sound. Yet! I finally see the real sky! Luffy shouted excitedly. At the same time, ISS Wednesday and R9 also woke up. After they untied the ropes, they jumped into the sea. Luya knew that, after all, his ninja had never been taken back, and he even sent 2 ninjas to merge into their shadows. For easy tracking. Crocus was talking to Luffy about Laboon and the Rumba pirates. Because of this agreement, Laboon is about to die, and his head is full of wounds. Crocus couldn't bear to see Laboon, and Luffy thought of a way after hearing it. After everyone turned around, Luffy had already inserted a thick and large log into Laboon's head. Hey! Where did Luffy get the wood? Why do I look like the mast of our ship? Yes, it's on our boat. Mainmast. Why do you want to destroy the ship? Luya was also speechless. He actually forgot to do this. Should he tell Luffy that there is a ship spirit now? The key is that I don't have a rat spell now. And now the Mary has just been running in with the Straw Hats, and the ship spirit should not have been born yet, and I don't know if the ship spirit can be recognized as a living body by the rat spell. At the same time, the battle between Luffy and Laboon was over. Luffy made an agreement with Laboon with the unfinished battle. There is no winner yet. After I circle the Great Root for a week. Let's fight again. Luffy faced Laboon laughed out loud, and Laboon's eyes also had tears. Chapter 4 Stun Blackmail? This is my battle agreement with you. Luffy said, looking at the Straw Hats logo on Laboon's head. Don't knock this logo off. Where are those guys? Usopp remembered ISS and R. Maybe they ran away. Nami looked around, but who are those 2 people? 100 meters to the left of the boat. ISS Wednesday, what's next? Anyway, we have to report to the boss first. The scheduled completion time of the task has already passed. Yeah, this is bad. Anyway, let's go back first. Saying R9, he reached into his pocket. Hey? 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 What's the matter? ISS asked Wednesday. The pointer is lost. R9 cried and smiled. Then R9 apologized to ISS Wednesday and took out the binoculars to look around, just to see the pointer Luffy just picked up. What is this? Luffy asked suspiciously. Crocus was also a little speechless when he saw this scene. Co-authored? You came to the Great Root without knowing anything? This is the recording needle. The magnetic force on the Great Root is different, so you need to record the magnetic force every time you go to an island. Crocus set out to educate the navigator Nami about the Great Route. Luya is now asking the ninja to listen to Usopp's command to repair the ship. After all, the general plot is known, and now it is time to hit the road. Now it's all small fish and shrimp, and the ship doctor on this One Piece/King of Pirates didn't trigger the mission, and Luya didn't bother to contact him. Just wait until you meet Shishibukai to see what rewards can be revealed, and now there is a bizarre experience card. Just in time to see if it was Crocodile's yellow sand covering the sky, or my Bartha Devil's sea waves that could destroy him in one wave. At this time, Sanji kicked Luffy out angrily because Luffy ate all the meals. Luffy also touched the pointer on Nami's wrist when he was flying. Bang! Nami looked at the pieces flying in the air and was furious. She punched Luffy Sanji into the sea. Isn't this a very important thing? Usopp stared at the broken pointer. It doesn't matter, I can give you mine. Crocus said, when Laboon pushed the 4 up, looking closely at the other two, ISS Wednesday and R9. Sanji looked at ISS Wednesday. Honey, get your hands up. ISS stood up on Wednesday holding Sanji's hand. Under the lighthouse. Whiskey Peak. What a strange name. Luffy's little head was already filled with doubts. Luya felt like Der Spiegel at this time, a small town composed of bounty hunters. They're basically ordinary soldiers, but they've caught up with the main story, except for a man with booger who is disgusting. Then why don't you go back? Where's your ship? Nami asked. Broken, and we didn't record the pointer. Ah. Is that this? Broken. Nami pointed to the broken pointer on her wrist. What's broken? Shouted ISS Wednesday and R9. But Uncle Crocus gave us another one. Nami said with a smirk. Thank you so much, you are really good people, please take us back. After saying that, the two fell to their knees again. Oh. Then you get on the boat. Luffy said. Really? Are you going to bring these two guys of unknown origin with you? Usopp asked. Does it matter? Luffy asked nonchalantly. The route can only be chosen here. Crocus said. It doesn't matter, if you're not satisfied, just come around. Luffy replied. What the hell are you? ISS Wednesday and R9 asked. Me? I'm the man to be the One Piece/King of Pirates. Yo XI. Going to the Whiskey Peak. Don't forget our promise, Laboon. The merry started, and as the water flowed towards the direction of the pointer, Luffy and the others waved goodbye to Laboon. Locus looked at the shadow of the merry in the setting sun, and murmured with the people on the boat. Could he be the pirate we've been waiting for? What an incredible man! Isn't he? Roger. Great Route. Ah, it's actually snowing in the sky. Is this the weather of the Great Route? It's unpredictable. Nami sighed while looking at the heavy snow outside in the room. Luya was following Zoro in the ISS 3rd R9, I heard your two names and it sounded familiar to me, but I can't seem to remember it. Zoro touched his chin and looked at the two and said. ISS and the two were trembling, for fear that the person on the other side would know their identities, but Luya felt the same as Der Spiegel. However, since entering Laboon's stomach, Luya's mask has never been taken off. It feels like taking off the mask after entering the Whiskey Peak, he can even fish in troubled waters. Boom! Boom! Twice, Zoro and Luya fell to the ground in response. Why are you two so lazy? One is sitting in a daze, the other is sleeping until now. Nami looked down at the two of them condescendingly. Luya was speechless at this time. If he knew it would be better to let the ninja group out to sweep the snow, there should be no reason to hammer me, right? Probably. Everyone, don't let your guard down, the weather here is fickle, and even my sailing skills are not applicable at all. Nami said to the crowd. As soon as I finished speaking, I saw the peak of Whiskey. At this time, Both ISS Wednesday and R9 jumped to the railing. Thank you for your hospitality, sweethearts, see you by fate. The two flipped 780 degrees into the sea, and then swam to the peak of whiskey. What are they doing? Usopp looked at the two and said speechlessly. No matter what, look, this is a river. Nami pointed to the waterway and reminded everyone, no matter what happens, we will stop here for a few days, because we need to store the magnetic force of the next island. Who knows what's going on here, after all, this is a great route. Sanji reminded everyone while smoking a cigarette. As the boat entered the river, silhouettes of people could be vaguely seen swaying around, and fog began to form. When the ship broke through the fog, everyone looked at the crowd of people outside, a little unbelievable. The people here are welcoming us. Welcome, pirates! Welcome to the heroes of the sea! Welcome! 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 Welcome to Hospitality Town! Whiskey Peak! Pirates! Welcome! Surrounded by fiery residents, Luffy is happy that the people here are hospitable, Sanji is happy that the beautiful girls, Usopp is happy that the people here like pirates so much. I can brag again. Zoro felt strange, Nami felt something was wrong, but Luya was different from them. So kind, should I knock them out at night? They're all bounty hunters, right? And then another wave of extortion? Not to mention getting rich. Luya rubbed his chin and smiled, thinking about his plan to get rich. Chapter 5 Bullying People? Pa. As soon as the boat docked on the shore, a curly-haired uncle introduced it. I'm Akalem, the current mayor of Whiskey Peak. Ah. I'm Luffy, and uncle's hair is too curly. The curly-haired uncle smiled and introduced to the Straw Hats, we are a town with a culture of winemaking and music, and now we are going to hold a banquet. Let's use your stories as an appetizer, B.A. Baba. It's night time, inside the tavern. Usopp is following people bragging about his sea adventures, Sanji is lying among the women, Zoro is drinking and Luffy is eating meat. Nami was also attracted by Akalem's 100,000 berry bonus and started drinking. Luya ate something directly with the mouth of the mask. The advantage of this mask is that it is directly attached to the face and can be used to hide his true face without taking it off. And I didn't eat much along the way. Looking at the large pieces of meat and wine in front of me, I was really greedy. Because the mask is rather weird and infiltrating, Luyi's surroundings are relatively deserted. Several bounty hunters are sitting here and there. Seeing Luya eat directly with the mask, he panics even more. In the dead of night, it seemed that everyone in the Straw Hat group was lying or lying asleep, and everyone exited the room after extinguishing the fire. Tonight's gecko is so beautiful. What a poet, Akalem. Two people jumped off the wall behind Akalem, and Gecko saw the faces of these two people, not the ISS who jumped off the Mary not long ago. Is Wednesday and this really good? It's a lot of work, we don't have enough food in our town, it's just 5 little kids and one weird-looking guy. A muscular girl in a mini pink plaid skirt also came out of the next room and asked. You can't look at them on the surface. ISS Monday. Akalem took out Luffy's wanted notice. I have already investigated this group of people, you can't use appearance to understand a person's strength. When everyone saw the bounty on the wanted list, 30 million berries. Just this little boy? The three exclaimed. If we kill them, the bounty will be reduced by 30%, but the government wants to publicly execute them, go ahead and capture them alive. Akaram said. Yeah, sorry, my friends are a little tired, so you don't have to disturb them. Everyone looked up and saw a figure sitting cross-legged on the roof of a 2-story building behind them, holding a knife in his right hand, with a half-crescent moon behind him. In that case, let's add another tombstone on Whiskey Mountain. At the same time as Akalem said, the open space with only 4 people was already full of bounty hunters. I'll just say you have a problem, it's like an organization I've been invited to before, but I turned it down, Baroque Works. The figure stood up, and Gecko could see a ray of green on his head. It turned out to be Zoro, and Zoro pointed his sword down. Hey! Everyone in the Baroque Works room suddenly became nervous. This is a secret, how does a pirate know? You have more than 100 bounty hunters here, right? Let us be your opponents. Zoro disappeared from the roof as soon as he finished speaking. Hey? Gone? ISS Wed looked up at the roof in surprise, wondering if it was a hallucination. Hey! Everyone suddenly realized that Zoro was standing in the middle of the crowd. How dare you underestimate us? The crowd quickly dispersed and surrounded Zoro. Shoot! Bang bang bang! In a room on the second floor in the distance, Luya watched Zoro and the bounty hunters below play the game of you chasing me and I chasing you. On the other side, Nami was also rummaging for treasure, and felt that the hunter was really poverty. The moon leaned back again, and a vulture and sea otter appeared in the town. Unlucky duo! Several bounty hunters exclaimed, as if seeing something terrifying. This town is really lively. Cut! You actually sent us to this frontline town. The two figures walked behind the unlucky duo, and the unlucky duo also seemed to have seen something incredible. Boom! The two figures drifted away, and the unlucky duo and several bounty hunters lay on the ground. Hey! Zoro had just finished cleaning up the miscellaneous soldiers in the Baroque Works room. He heard the explosion before he could rest for a while, and stood up and walked towards the explosion. Luya also began to summon the ninja army to look for ISS Wednesday. At this time, Akalem and ISS still had R9 on Wednesday. After being beaten to the ground by Zoro, they were still sighing when they heard a frivolous voice. You actually lost to a swordsman? Are you kidding? ISS Valentine. R5. Are you here to help us? The two people who came out in front of Akalem, a young girl with an umbrella, is ISS Valentine, and a black-skinned brown windbreaker with an explosive head is R5. Ha ha ha, that's the difference in our rank, ISS, Valentine laughed at Akalem. But we are here to remove sinners. Our society has leaked out. The boss ordered us to remove this person. I really don't know what this person knows. R5 said. But we found another interesting thing. We found that the whereabouts of Alabasta Kingdom are currently unknown. Go to hell. Curly bombardment. Akalem suddenly stood up and pulled the curls on his head. There were actually 6 small barrels deep in the curls. Block my name as captain of the guard of the Kingdom of Alabasta. I won't let you touch a hair on the princess. Boom boom boom. However, when the smoke goes down, Valentine's Day is intact. Alabasta's escort captain, and Nefertali Vivi, we are here to kill you on the orders of the boss. In a small room next to it, Nami just heard this conversation, but her mind began to liven up, and Zoro wiped the wine from her mouth on the roof. Luffy? After I came out to the toilet and trampoline, I seem to have left him somewhere, right? Just when he was thinking about when he was going to drag Luffy away, hey! Zoro's hand touched the handle of the knife again, and after a closer look, it turned out that it was Liu Yi's ninja soldier. It turns out that Liu Yi didn't fall asleep. He's vigilant. These people in black clothes are still elusive. After thinking about it, he turned his head and looked down. At this time, Liu Yi has also started to come here, but although there is the power bonus of the cow charm, and the long-range attack of the dragon charm, but there is no bonus to Liu Yi's constitution. The current constitution is still very weak. If it really doesn't have the blessing of the cow spell, it might be possible to fight an ordinary pirate with 5, and a pirate can fight 5 Liu Yi. At the same time, while Akalem was still bombarding, R5 dug a booger and aimed at Akalem and bounced it out. Boom! Akaram actually collapsed like he was hit by a cannonball. Ikram! Shouted ISS Wednesday, oh no, it should be called Princess Vivi now. ISS Valentine's Day also floated over like a balloon and kicked Vivi. Vivi lowered her head suddenly to avoid the attack, but her headband was shattered. With her beautiful blue hair scattered, R9 saw Vivi's appearance and knelt down to flatter Vivi. So you are the princess? ISS Wednesday. It's been a noisy night, you guys keep fighting, we're going to slip first. Zoro dragged Luffy, who was asleep, and passed between the two. R9 stood up and rushed to cover Vivi in a Kalem blood backflip. Vivi whistled and shouted Kalu. A big yellow duck running over, Vivi rolled over and ran back. Kalem found Zoro, who was still watching the battle at the corner, and crawled over to hold Zoro's feet. Please save the princess. Kalem pleaded. Hey! What are you doing? Do you want me to slash you again? Zoro yelled. Give me 1,000,000,000 bellies and I'll help you, when Nami's voice came from the low wall next to me, 1,000,000,000 bellies. I'm just a soldier and I don't have the right to do that, but if you save the princess, or the princess can. That is, I rescue the princess first and then discuss it. Nami said. Didn't you fall asleep, Nami? Zoro wondered, this town is so hospitable and drinking so much, I don't doubt that there are ghosts, so are you going? Nami replied. Who would agree to such an outrageous thing? Zoro yelled. Nami was about to tell Zoro that your money is all mine, and my money is still mine, when suddenly a dark figure drilled from the side come out. Yet! Nami yelled, you're going to scare people to death in the night. It turned out to be Lu Yi's ninja. The ninja ignored Nami's scream and squatted down and wrote a few lines on the ground. Lu Yat, I saw Vivi, I went to save Vivi, remember to turn back to Barry to point me, and after writing it, it turned into a shadow and disappeared. The riverside of the town at this time. Come on, you can get on the boat after passing here. ISS Monday, Vivi murmured. No matter what, the failure of the mission will always be punished, it is better to sacrifice for the sake of a friend. Boom! The loud explosion made Vivi stop and look behind. R5 stepped on Monday and thought about Vivi and said, we are devil fruit power users, and I am an explosive person who will explode all over. Ha ha ha, I'm a lightweight fruit person, the lightest I can fly by the wind, the heaviest I can gain 1 kilogram. ISS Valentine floated in the air and smiled and looked at Vivi. Do you think you can run away from our hands? At this time Vivi also stopped, turned over, took out the snap button from the pocket of the shirt on the chest, and was ready to fight to the death. At this time, R5 took another piece of booger and aimed at Vivi. The booger cannon. The booger was ejected from R5's hand. When it was halfway through the flight, a man in black suddenly appeared from the ground to block the booger. Boom! An explosion. Vivi looked at the place filled with gunpowder, thinking that it was someone who came to save the scene, but the figure that was dried by R5's booger disappeared. Just when Vivi thought he was going to die here, men in black suddenly appeared in front of them, and they crossed to cover Vivi. Snapped! 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 A man covered in black with a ghost mask on his face, clapped his hands and walked out slowly, using booger to kill people. You are really disgusting. This person is Lu Yat. Previously, Lu Yat threw the ninja out, and if there was a situation, he would come back directly from the Shadow Kingdom to report. When he knew that Vivi started to escape, the ninja would also receive instructions from Lu Yat. When she sees Nami and Kalem discussing the request to save people, she will go out and explain the situation to Nami. It was too difficult for Lu Yat. After all, the strength of his body was enhanced by the cow spell, and he still ran at the same speed as an ordinary person. This way, the ninja was still carrying him on his back, but he was lucky to catch up. The smoke dissipated. Lu Yat walked to Vivi's side, and Vivi was about to start when the ninja next to him grabbed the weapon. Don't move, I'm here to save you, the captain of your escort team promised us a ransom of 1,000,000,000 berries, hee. After Lu Yat and Vivi explained, they looked at R5. Who are you? Are those pirates playing circus? R5 asked. I really want to know how powerful the devil fruit is. Lu Yat said and waved his hand. I'll take care of that girl, this man, I want him to compare with my dragon spell. After taking the command, the ninja quickly approached ISS Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day became lighter and began to fly into the sky. The R5 also started bombing next to it, and the booger bombed the ninjas one by one. Boom! 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 R5 looked at the ninja one at a time, and it was no different from the soldier, and he was relieved. Vivi was also a little worried, and asked, "You have to kill all of your subordinates, why don't you come up?" Lu Ye chuckled, "My subordinates are immortal." As soon as the voice fell, those ninjas that R5 Valentine and Vivi thought were dead turned into black things, and then returned to human forms. Hey? Hey? What's the matter? The three of Vivi's eyes widened. Could it be that these people were summoned by the power of devil fruit? Is this masked man also a devil fruit power user? Vivi is not too nervous when she thinks about it. In Vivi's opinion, it is all devil fruit abilities, and this person's ability is still immortal, maybe he can fight too? Valentine's Day is amazing. Can't die? This is tricky. ISS Valentine also flew 50 meters above the sky and moved to Lu Yi's head. Ha ha ha, even your subordinates are immortal. But so are you. Taste my impact. 1 kilogram fall. The voice fell quickly on Valentine's Day. Whoosh! Bang! Vivi and ISS Valentine looked at Lu Ye in surprise. At this moment, Lu Ye held Valentine's Day with both hands. After all, this fruit has not been developed, and the body is still very fragile, and it has not awakened yet, if it is not observation hacky. Too high to aim, too low, like this, there is an impact force of about 10 tons, but Lu Yi's bull spell gave him nearly 13 tons of power. I grabbed Valentine's leg and threw it to the ground, Duan. Valentine's head hit the ground, stunned Valentine's Day, threw Valentine's Day on the ground, flicked his wrist, and then looked at R5 who was still fighting with ninjas. Come and see my dragon blast now. Booger Man. Chapter 6. Thank you for taking care. I might be able to slip away? Lu Ye was a little puzzled as he watched the R5's booger bombardment, and especially wanted to know whether his booger was produced instantaneously, and there were so many. And R5 is also uncomfortable at this time. There are too many stalks to kill people. Sometimes ninjas will come out from their shadows to attack. If they are not the bombers, they will really be strangled. Don't be afraid of getting close, I am afraid of distance. At this moment, the ninjas have started throwing darts, and wounds have begun to appear on their bodies. R5 has already retreated, and is ready to find a chance to escape. But Lu Ye would not let him go, and ordered the ninjas to disperse. The ninjas stopped attacking and stood around R5. R5 looked at the ninjas around him who were no longer attacking, and finally breathed a sigh of relief, looked at Lu Ye and said, I admit that you are very strong, you can come to our Baroque works room, I believe the boss will welcome you, especially your subordinates, I believe that once you join us, you will definitely become the boss right-hand man. R5 began to try their best to win over Lu Ye. After all, the mission failed, and he would face punishment when he went back. If he could pull Lu Ye in, he might be able to complete the mission by the way. Everyone must have a dream. Just when R5 was still thinking about what conditions he could come up with, Lu Ye became impatient. Do NT talk about it, your organization is too lazy, if it's too loose, just name it. Lu Ye refused mercilessly. After all, he knew what kind of organization this was. R5 was about to make a quibble. Lu Ye said again, I'll let you go if you can hit me, how about it? Although these two are little scumbags, they are still devil fruit power users, and they had already overwhelmed their bull talisman horns last Valentine's Day. Now it's time to look at the dragon charm and the explosive fruit. If the dragon charm is too rubbish, there is a certain number. After all, I haven't tried its power yet. R5 looked at it, this was a good thing. For R5, Lu Ye's ability was to summon a group of immortal men in black, and his own ability should not be too strong, not to mention that he would do just one trick. Yes, but you have to promise that if I can bear it, you have to let me go, R5 also emphasized. Okay, Lu Ye replied, have you said so much, are you ready? As soon as the voice fell, without waiting for R5 to reply, he stretched out his right hand, opened his palm to aim at R5, a curled dragon-shaped rune appeared in the center of the palm, and then the entire palm glowed red. Dragon Blast! Lu Ye shouted. After 0.5 seconds, an orange-red light ball about the size of a palm spewed out after condensing, and there was an orange-red water column behind the light ball. R5 was about to reply, he saw that Lu Ye had raised his hand and aimed at him, and before he could react, the orange-red light ball charged with his tail in front of him. No, R5 yelled. Boom! From Lu Ye's point of view, it's not very clear. After all, the light beam of the dragon blasting is also brighter, but looking at the place where the explosion is a wall, did it not hit? Lu Ye was a little disappointed. When the dust dissipated, Lu Ye thought of a way to leave the R5. He carefully looked at the original place of the R5. Only the lower body was left. It turned out that the entire upper body of the R5 was melted by the high temperature of the dragon blasting beam. He's dead. Lu Ye felt a little uncomfortable at this time, as if he was blocked by something. The ninjas threw R5's lower body into the house and surrounded him. Lu Ye waved his hand and told the ninjas to return first. In Shadowland, the ninjas said goodbye and disappeared. Lu Ye hadn't come out of the shadow of his own killing, when the sound of the system sounded in his ears. Ding! Unlock the hidden reward. The host killed the villain for the first time in this world, and rewarded the host with the undead god's armor and night bat ninja mask. Why is there a reward for killing? What is this hidden reward? Lu Ye asked. Host, please rest assured, the hidden reward is more or less based on the host itself, or the direction of the world. For example, if the host hits a Tenryubito now, it will reward a random spell. But if you kill Tenryubito, hey, the host will be rewarded for the first time in everything. Lu Ye is also adjusting his mentality at this time. After all, it is impossible not to kill people in this world. Anime is anime, but now, it has become a reality. Soft-handedness is a big taboo in this chaotic era. Thinking about it, it makes me laugh, because the 10th life is to save people and let the system take a fancy to him, but in the 11th life, he wants to kill. After all, it is the world that I choose, maybe this is the ultimate solution, then let me change this world. I believe I can do it one day sooner or later. Vivi looked at Lu Ye, whose eyes were a little sloppy, and poked lightly, hey, are you all right? Although I saw that R5 was left with legs in a second, although I felt a burr, it was not a princess who had been spoiled since she was a child, and she quickly adjusted her mentality. It's okay, let's go. Lu Ye also returned to his soul and responded. Boom! 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 Suddenly there was the sound of a house collapsing in the distance, and there were two people arguing from time to time. Lu Ye remembered that Luffy must have misunderstood Zoro. Luffy thought these were good people, but Zoro actually cut the good people to the ground, so the two fight. Lu Ye didn't care, and walked in the direction of Nami with Vivi. After all, Nami was the first fighting force of the Straw Hats. 10 minutes later. Sure enough, when Lu Ye arrived at the place, Zoro and Luffy had two big bags on their heads, and Nami was explaining what happened to Luffy. Zoro, I'm sorry, I thought you hit them because the dishes they cooked didn't suit your wishes. Luffy said while pressing his straw hat, revealing his signature smile. How can I be like you? Zoro was so angry that one Buddha came out of his body and two Buddhas ascended to heaven. Ah, Lu Ye, you're up too. Why are you still wearing a mask, isn't it uncomfortable? Luffy greeted Lu Ye when he saw Vivi and Lu Ye coming over. Why don't I take off the mask, maybe you will find out later, Lu Ye shrugged. Oh, so it is. Luffy realized again. Okay, stop chatting, Vivi, we saved you because of a billion bellies, now the mission is complete, can you give us the money? Nami interrupted Luffy and asked Vivi. Although I am very grateful to you for saving me, my country is now in civil strife because of the conspiracy of the behind-the-scenes boss of the Baroque Works room, so there is no way to give you money. Vivi said in a low voice. Why, aren't you a princess? It's just a studio, what's so powerful? Nami asked in confusion. You'd better not ask. Because, the behind-the-scenes boss of the Baroque Works room is the current king, Shishibukai, Crocodile. Vivi shouted. Time seems to be frozen. Everyone looked up and saw the unlucky duo standing on the wall next to them, and they flew away after seeing the Straw Hat group. Nami rushed up and shook Vivi and asked, how did you say it? Why did you say it, and also? What the hell was a vulture and an otter just now? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really missed the point. Vivi said apologetically. Ah, Shishibukai. Yeah, lucky to meet Shishibukai so soon. Luffy and Zoro were chatting and joking, shut up. I just met Shishibukai on the Great Route. What the hell kind of luck? Nami yelled, turning her head and walking towards the alley. As he walked, he said, fortunately, I don't know what we all look like now. I'll go first. Although we haven't been together for a long time, thank you for your care. As soon as they turned the corner, they saw the unlucky duo. High Otter was writing and drawing on a piece of white paper with a pen in his hand. Hey, Sea Otter stood up the paper in his hand, and it was the portraits of Zoro, Luffy, Nami, and Lu Yat. Except for Lu Yi's mask portrait, the other three were real faces, as if to show off, and then the otter rode on again. The vulture flew away. Ah! Now I mean I can't run even if I want to. Nami shouted back. Lu Ye wanted to peel it off at this moment. Ah, thank you for your care, I don't think they know what I really look like, so I can slip away. Lu Yat. Why did you leave your companions and go away? Luffy thought he was really going to leave, and instantly hugged Lu Yat. Che coward, hurry up and go. Zoro said disdainfully. Why didn't I think of wearing a mask and wandering around the world? Nami said without love. Okay, I'm joking, isn't it a Shishibukai, I'll be killed with a finger. Anyway, there is no need to pay taxes for bragging, and there is a bizarre experience card. Although I don't know if I can beat it in 10 minutes, it is a devil who restrains crocodile. Great, I knew Lu Yat, you are not such a person. Luffy jumped down again and laughed. At this time, a Kalem came over, changed into a woman's clothes, and held a few scarecrows, seducing the people in the Baroque Works room with herself and the scarecrows as Princess Vivi and the Straw Hats. A Karam chatted with the Straw Hats and walked to the beach. Princess, please, I think it will be a difficult journey. Hey! Luffy responded. Be careful all the way, IKA. Vivi said goodbye reluctantly. The ship gradually moved away. A Karam stood at the stern looking at the silhouette of Vivi's Straw Hats. The kingdom is up to you to save, Princess Vivi. And the Straw Hats and Vivi on the coast looked at the ships that were getting farther and farther away and sighed. Go away, what an interesting uncle. Luffy said to Vivi with his head in his hands. Hey! He's a reliable one. Vivi smiled back. The voice just fell, boom. The ship in the distance suddenly exploded, like a blazing sun rising from the sea. The Straw Hats and Vivi stared at the firelight in the distance. I'm going, how could I forget this? Lu Ye sighed inwardly, even if he had seen pirates before, but after all, he was a supporting character who had appeared in several episodes. Compared with the hundreds of episodes that followed, this one really wanted not get up. Nami hurriedly hugged Vivi and comforted her. Nami hurriedly greeted everyone to get on the boat. Luffy found Sanji and Usopp who were still sleeping and dragged them onto the boat. In this way, everyone took advantage of the night to leave the port and head to the next station. Chapter 7 Robin came out and showed his face. The boat slowly entered the foggy area at the beginning. When everyone was looking around, they suddenly looked up at the railing on the second floor. "Who are you?" Zoro's hand was on the hilt of the knife, looking at the man on the railing. The fog faded and some people could see the person coming: purple boots, purple hat, purple pants and tops. "She is Vivi." Shocked. "Whose partner is she?" Nami asked. "She's Boss R0's partner," Vivi said. "Ah, what a cute little girl. If I didn't let you discover the identity of the boss on purpose, you still don't know how to go around in circles?" he said lightly. Swish. Sanji was standing on the right with the gun, Usopp was standing on the left, and Zoro also picked up the knife. "I hate being threatened like this by others." Sanji and Usopp suddenly fell down after speaking. Zoro's hand with the knife was also opened, and the knife fell to the ground. The ability of the devil fruit. Everyone's alert skyrocketed. The only one who didn't move was Liu Ye, but Liu Ye saw the arm that suddenly appeared, and combined with this woman, isn't it Robin, the historian of the Straw Hats in the future? Liu Ye even sat cross-legged in the corner to check the reward for killing himself. Anyway, Robin doesn't fight with the Straw Hats anymore, so he doesn't care anymore, and even if he cares now, it's useless. Hit. Is the bowl talisman powerful? People twist your neck. Dragon spell long range attack? People twist your neck. Ninja mask? People twist your neck. Is this a snake? Simply look at your own gains. System, bring up my personal panel. Host. Constitution 11. No ability. The prop bowl charm can increase the power of the host by 300 times. The dragon charm can emit high temperature rays like magma, increasing its power and range with the host's anger. The ninja mask has been purified and summons ordinary ninjas with the same physical fitness as elite ordinary marine soldiers. Night bat ninja mask has been purified, summons ninja with bat wings, can fly, and has the same physical fitness as ordinary marine soldiers. The undead god's armor surface enhances quality capabilities such as strength, speed, etc. Not bad, the undead god's armor should be used as a body armor. Liu Ye said happily. After all, the improvement brought about by the ox talisman will not raise the body to the point of invulnerability. Liu Ye opened his eyes, just to see Robin jumping onto the back of a large turtle outside the boat, and there was a seat with an awning on his back. Everyone let out a sigh of relief after watching the turtle leave. "Hey Liu Ye, why did you sit down as soon as they came? You surrendered?" Ye Zoro squinted at Liu Ye and made a disdainful voice. "I don't feel malicious," Liu Ye said casually. He couldn't say that he came from crossing the road. "Zoro, you are still blind in one eye. Believe it or not, Zoro has to fight with himself." Sanji started chivalry again, but Vivi hesitated a bit. After all, it was his own omission that caused the Straw Hats to be noticed by Crocodile and chased by Baroque Works. Vivi was also worried at this time. Can I really get on the boat, and will it bring trouble to everyone? Nami pointed at Vivi's head. "You should have done this sooner, it's no use saying these words now." "Sorry." Vivi apologized. "Right, Luffy?" Nami asked, turning to Luffy. "Oh. I'm hungry." Luffy remembered Sanji's meal. The next stop is decided. Really curious about where Little Garden is. In the distance, Robin turned to look at the outline of the Mary. "I'm looking forward to what will happen in Little Garden." A day later, the sea near Little Garden. Ah! Liu Ye looked at the endless ocean. It was so boring. If it weren't for the two active members Luffy and Usopp, this boring journey might not be able to last. "I saw the land!" Usopp shouted. "Oh!" Everyone came out, looking at the land in the distance and shouted happily. The boat was getting closer and closer. Looking at the island, Liu Ye suddenly remembered. At this time, there should be a few people from Baroque Works on the island. This episode almost turned Vivi and Nami Zoro into sculptures, but now Luya can't make threats. The boat docked. Sanji, Zoro, Vivi, the three got off the boat and went to the island. Usopp and Nami also chose to stay on the boat because they were afraid. Luya also stayed on the boat, but Luya was going to let the ninja go first. Pathfinder. Night Bat Ninja Mask. Luya said silently in his heart, and the mask on Luyi's face began to change. The red face and yellow horns at the beginning turned into a yellow face, and the red horns turned brown. Luya waved his hand and summoned the Night Bat Ninja, Shoo. Swish. Swish. There are more than a dozen Night Bat Ninjas around, and Night Bat Ninjas have finally become less human than ordinary ninjas. The arms changed from thin to thick from top to bottom, and the fingers also became three-fingered, but they became longer and thicker, and there was a pair of enlarged bat wings on the back. Although the eyes are also red, but they are connected together, it looks like an elongated triangle, flat on the top and pointed on the bottom, and a pair of thin horns protruding on the head. It looks handsome. Go, pay attention to the traces of our group in the sky, except for the two giants on this island. The surrounding night bats took the lead and flew into the sky. Whoa! Since Nami and Usopp didn't look inside the boat, they were just frightened when the night bat flew out. Ah! The two of them ran to Lu Yi's side shouting as they ran. Lu Yat, help, what was that just now? You have to protect me. Usopp rushed directly to Lu Yi's side and hugged him tightly. Nami also hugged Lu Yi's other arm, and Lu Ye was speechless. That's the subordinate I summoned. I asked them to survey the terrain and see if there was any danger. Oh! When the two heard Lu Ye say this, they let go of Lu Ye, but the two still didn't get too far apart. Now Lu Ye is the only one with strong and reliable force on board. Meanwhile, the center of the island. Vivi and Luffy meet the giant Dory, and Zoro and Sanji make a bet on who kills the most ingredients. 10,000 kilograms, heavy pressure. Boom! A dinosaur was killed by a girl who looked delicate. After the dust cleared, it was ISS Valentine's Day. Although R5 was accidentally killed by Lu Ye, if the mission is not completed, he will be punished when he goes back. So ISS came to Little Garden and R3 on Valentine's Day, and ISS going will meet every week. Click. Yo ISS Valentine, why did you come to a small white room and the door was opened? ISS Valentine walked in and saw the two of R3 enjoying it comfortably. R5 is dead. Killed by a masked man from the Straw Hats. Nada. R5 is too rubbish, and rubbish will die. After saying that, R3 took a sip of coffee. Yet they did not notice a scarlet eye from the window looking at them. On the Mary. Lu Ye suddenly opened his eyes, found it, stood up, and was ready to go. Oh, Lu Ye, why are you going? Nami quickly stood up and asked. I'm going to deal with some little bugs, and I'll be back soon, don't get off the boat and run around. Hey! Nami and Usopp looked confused. Lu Ye threw his hands and two night bat ninjas appeared beside him, pulling Lu Yi's arm and flying out. Wow, Lu Yi's subordinates are amazing. Nami and Usopp sighed as they looked at Lu Ye, who had already flown away. Boom! 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 At this moment, the surroundings began to vibrate. Nami and Usopp looked forward, and a huge black shadow appeared in the jungle. Ah! Lu Ye, Zoro, Sanji, Luffy. Help! Chapter 8 Battle in Little Garden. When the shadow came out of the woods, looking at the two people on the boat, he asked curiously, Do you have any wine? I ask you if you have any wine? Nami and Usopp looked at the huge man in front of them, a head bigger than the two of them, and a helmet on his head. There are still two short horns on the helmet, and they are even a little cute, but the courage of the two can be imagined, and they screamed and ran off the boat. Ah, everyone, where are you all? Nami yelled and Usopp rushed into the woods. At this time, Lu Ye also flew over the room built by R3 with his ability to melt fruit. The pure white room was simply dazzling and eye-catching. At this time, Lu Ye also ordered Ye Bat to put himself down. Our goal is Brocky and Dori on this island, and we'll finish this goal first, and then the Straw Hat, R3 said, taking a sip of coffee. ISS can't do anything about Valentine's Day. After all, his partner has also died in the hands of the Straw Hats, so he can only sit down and rest first. Let's see if we can cooperate with ISS Going Joe and R3, but when the three were still drinking coffee leisurely, they suddenly heard a voice from outside, Dragon Blast. Boom! Lu Ye looked at the white room hit by the Dragon Blast, a big hole appeared in the middle, and the surrounding of the hole began to melt. When the dust settled, Lu Ye saw that a huge white ball appeared in the center of the room, and the ball suddenly cracked, leaking out the three R3 people inside. Who are you? R3 asked in disbelief. After all, a single attack penetrated the room he built. Although it was just a temporary station, it was also extremely hard to melt away. This is not good news. He is the one who killed R5. Although the mask is different, the figure and the black shadow around make me sure it is him. ISS Valentine said angrily. I guessed it right, but unfortunately I didn't get the reward. Lu Ye looked at the three people in front of him, and felt that they should all be on the same level as R5, so long as ISS Going Joe didn't let him get close. Valentine's Day was ignored, the last ninja couldn't fly, there was no way to catch up, but the current one can fly, and this is left to the ninjas. R3's ability is tricky, but his own dragon blasting, high temperature can melt his ability, so he is still confident. R3 will emit a beam of light that can even vaporize people, so once he raises his hand, he will dodge. Explained Lu Ye's ability to R3, ISS Valentine's Day also flew into the sky, and Going Joe also quietly mimes back. It's amazing, but what if you can't hit it, R3 said, and then squatted down and touched the ground. Candle. A feast. As soon as R3's voice fell, the surrounding ground rose flat like a waterfall of white pulp, wrapped around Lu Ye. Lu Ye looked around, it was no fun to be trapped by this thing, Dragon Blast. Lu Ye raised his hand and hit the front. Boom! The output of the dragon blasting is not covered. He raised his hand and aimed at the surrounding white wall and fired one shot here and there. The entire wall evaporated in a circle, but the wall above his head fell off. Duan! Lu Ye smashed it hard, and the top wall was thrown out. Lu Ye looked at the melted wax in front of him, and lifted his legs and stepped out. Going Joe, come and color. R3 actually used his ability to make a white armor, and at this time let Going Joe color his armor. Hey! Okay, Going slipped aside after the week was over. After Lu Ye came out, he just saw that Going Joe had finished coloring R3's armor, with a purple and black body, a number 3 on the chest, a row of spikes around his arms, and his fists were also painted in red, with a hint of handsomeness. How about it? This candle of mine, Champion's Cup. But the hardness is comparable to that of steel, and my movement speed has also increased. I also used this armor to kill a big pirate of 4,200 berries. R3 has this armor as if just like being invincible, he is quite proud of his creations. Lu Ye doesn't want to talk anymore. You might as well use your abilities to trap me. Although you can't beat me, you can annoy me to death. Seeing the R3 who was still boasting, Lu Ye shook his head and ordered, go and deal with those two little girls, just knock them out, especially the one with the flower drawing board, be careful to be drawn. Although I don't know if painting is useful for shadows, there is nothing wrong with being careful. After Lu Ye finished speaking, the Night Bat ninjas dispersed to pursue. Looking at your armor, I'm a little envious, but, do you think you have it? A purplish-blue breath burst out from Lu Ye's eyebrows, wrapping around his body, but he was dressed in a second or two. He was wearing a tight-fitting battle suit, dark blue and a little purple, and there were several dark yellow clouds on his body. Pattern. R3 looked at the masked man in front of him and put on a tight suit. Although it was strange, he wasn't nervous. He didn't think that a change of clothes would be better than his armor. Lu Ye felt that he was in good shape after changing his outfit. After all, the undead god's battle armor also increased its power. Coupled with the power of the bowl talisman, the power had to be doubled no matter what. How would you be embarrassed if you didn't have 30 tons? Looking at Lu Ye, who had finished changing clothes in front of him, R3 also knew that he couldn't wait any longer, and started rushing in Lu Ye's direction. Next. Champion Fist. R3 ran and waved his arms, and his speed became faster and faster. Dragon Blast. Boom. An orange-red light beam rushed towards R3, but R3 was not slow even with the armor, and turned and ran with both feet on the ground. Judgment is a good idea. Lu Ye also stopped shooting. Shoo. Lu Ye rushed towards R3 at such a fast speed that a crack was even stepped on the spot. Boom. Lu Ye's hands touched R3's fist. I'm going, it really hurts. Lu Ye secretly complained, but the armor didn't absorb the impact of the pain. R3 was also surprised that Lu Ye's power was so great at this time. Damn masked man. Prepare for my punishment. After saying that, he stepped back with both hands. Lu Ye also did not expect this move. Stagger. R3 seized the opportunity to smash Lu Ye, and Lu Ye turned over when he fell to the ground instantly. Lying on the ground, looking at the fist of R3's armor, he raised his hand and exploded with a dragon. Boom. R3's fist was blasted with a big hole, and he was also knocked out by the impact force. Lu Ye stood up with a carp and ran to R3 quickly. When R3 was about to land, Lu Ye also arrived, grabbed the hole in the fist of R3's armor with both hands, lifted it up, and smashed it to the ground. Boom. 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 Lu Ye pulled the hole in R3's armor, and it was really easy, just like the Hulk smashed Loki in the Avengers, but the Avengers was a big man smashing a small man. Here, Lu Ye is wearing a close-fitting battle armor, which is still the same height as Zoro, and the armor of R3 is over 2 meters tall and large. It looks like if a primary school student is hanging and beating an adult. After 10 hits, the armor in Lu Ye's hand suddenly melted, R3 was thrown out, and the surrounding room also melted. Lu Ye ran to R3's side and saw that R3 had fainted. Tisk, this is driving a motorcycle without wearing a helmet and driving without wearing a seat belt. A good armor, but there is no helmet, and you will be dizzy if you fall on your head. Lu Ye looked at the fainted R3 with some regret. If you had a helmet, maybe you could come back for a few more rounds. That's all, the hidden danger was lifted. At this time, the night bats also flew over, and the 2 night bat ninjas led by one, holding a fainted ISS. Find a few pieces of wood, put them together into a boat, tie them, put them on the wood, and throw them into the sea, depending on their luck. The surrounding night bats nodded and scattered, and another night bat came out and flew away with R3's legs. Ah! It's time to take a break. After saying that, he asked the system to take back the undead god's armor. Blue blue blue, where R3 originally built the room, the sound of a phone bug came from a box. Chapter 9 Untitled. Lu Ye saw that there was only one woven box left, and walked over to open it. Inside was a phone bug, 2 giant bounties, probably Dory and Brocky, and a few portraits of the Straw Hats. Blue blue, the phone bug was still ringing. Lu Ye looked at the phone bug in the box. It was the first time Lu Ye saw this thing, so he picked up the phone curiously. Kata. Hello. Your report is a long time coming, R3. Report. Lu Ye felt that it might be a sand crocodile, so he lowered his voice and asked, which one are you? It's me, R0, how's the mission going? Ah, the person who knew your secret has already been killed, so don't chase after it anymore. Well, then I will let the unlucky duo bring you a permanent pointer to the kingdom of Alabasta. You bring Going Joe to Alabasta first, and I will contact you when you get there. As soon as Lu Ye turned his head, he saw the unlucky duo next to him. The otter rushed over with a shell, but was blocked by the night bat ninja who suddenly appeared before him. The vulture was just about to take off. It was also dragged down by the night bats, but the sound of fighting still passed through. Hey? What's the situation over there? R0 asked. It's all right, but it's just a slip through the net from the straw hats. It doesn't matter, I've already subdued it. Lu Ye replied casually. You just said the straw hats? That means you made a false report on me, didn't you? It's a little accident, but it's resolved. Forget it, you can go directly to Alabasta. Kata, the phone bug was hung up. Lu Ye also threw away the phone bug, walked towards the unlucky duo, and found the Alabasta permanent pointer on the otter. As soon as I put it away, I heard Sanji's voice. What are you doing here? Lu Ye? Aren't you on the boat? Alabasta Shishibukai Crocodile Camp Rain Feast. Sent to Alabasta on his way to kill him. You are cruel, R0, crocodile. Do you have any opinion on me? No, I follow your orders. Robin got up and walked to the stairs. That's it, Lu Ye explained the general situation to Sanji, and when he came down for a walk, he found these people bala. Oh, that's it, let's go, let's find Luffy and the others. Sanji turned around and left, Lu Ye followed, and let the night bats also scattered to look for Luffy and the others. Heart of Little Garden. Luffy relied on his charisma to get along with Dori Brockie. Although there was no interruption from R3, their weapons were still about to break. Hey, what is this? It's a little itchy. Nami glanced at the red dot on her stomach and scratched suspiciously. Ah, Nami-san. Vivi-san. As soon as they heard it was old Sanji and Lu Ye relied on Yebat's guidance and went straight through the woods to find Luffy and others. Ah, Lu Ye, Sanji, come here, this is our new friend, this thin one is Dori, this fat one is Brockie. Luffy cheerfully introduced his new friend to Sanji and Lu Ye. The crowd then held another magical pancake party, and then Lu Ye told everyone what had just happened, and took out the pointer of Alabasta to Nami. Ah! Alabasta's pointer just got it. Nami and Vivi shouted happily. Lu Ye shrugged and didn't say anything. After all, he was a little confused about this thing, because he never thought that Alabasta's pointer was obtained like this, and thought that Vivi had it in the beginning. The group then returned to the river. Sanji and Zoro loaded the prey onto the boat, and everyone opened the anchor and set sail. Dori and Brockie said goodbye to everyone at the seaside. Suddenly, a big goldfish sprang out of the sea and swallowed it. The sky opened his mouth and swallowed the Mary. Hey! Yay! The Straw Hats had already burst their mentality, including Lu Ye. There was a saying in their hearts that Ma Mapei didn't know if he was an or. He was swallowed by a whale while crossing the mountain, and now he was swallowed by a goldfish. In the Earth Forum before, I have seen that Usopp's bragging rights have been realized one by one, such as this goldfish. When the Mary was swallowed into the mouth of the goldfish, Dori and Brockie on the shore also raised their weapons. Taste the power of Elbaf warriors. Hey Koku! A shockwave soaring to the sky smashed out with the cry of the two giants, boom! The sea in front of the two giants was split, and the currents could not melt together. It was 50 meters deep and 500 meters long, and a large hole was opened in the belly of the goldfish. The Mary in the belly of the goldfish was blown up by the huge impact. Yo-hoo-hoo! Luffy became excited. Go ahead, Mary! Even the sea is split open. Is this the power of the Elbaf warriors? Usopp said enviously. Go ahead. Dori and Brockie said, the weapons in their hands also broke and fell into the sea. The two looked at the departing Mary and sighed, I feel the time when we were adventurous at that time. Drink le. Suddenly the volcano in the center of the island erupted, and the two looked at the volcano, as if there was something they didn't remember, but it didn't matter. Let's decide the winner this time. Oh! Boom! 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 From the depths of little garden came the sound of two people fighting again. On the merry. Ah, Vivi, maybe it's because I've been playing for a long time, I'm so tired. Nami said while resting her forehead. Nami, if you are tired, go to your room to rest first. Vivi helped Nami to persuade. Okay. Nami was helped by Vivi into the room to rest. Zoro was exercising, holding a solid iron bar with 5 100 kg barbell plates on the iron bar. Under 2060. I'm going to become stronger. Zoro gasped, even if there was no threat from R3, but only seeing the blow from the two giants and the threat of the giant goldfish, Zoro felt a sense of urgency. Lu Ye was not idle at this time. Although he had the cow spell and the undead armor, the enemies in the future would be more perverted. Even if there was a dog spell, he would not dare to wave. If you can't kill you, you will be tortured. The dog spell doesn't block the pain, let alone the horse spell and dog spell now, so Lu Ye simply let the system take back the power of the cow spell first, and hold 2 of them first. Dumbbell exercises start with the basics. Nami. Are you alright? Vivi shouted, looking at the flushed Nami. Vivi took Nami's temperature with a thermometer, 40 degrees. Vivi was surprised, and quickly went out to call everyone. 40 degrees of heat can kill people. Vivi explained to Luffy. Nanny. Luffy Usopp Sanji said nervously. Go to the doctor now, Vivi urged. Wait. Nami stopped Vivi. I have a newspaper in my drawer, please read it. Vivi stood up and took out the newspaper. Ah! The rebel army of 300,000 joined. Originally it was 600,000 of the king's army and 400,000 of the rebel army. Now another 300,000 rebels have joined the rebellion. The crisis in the country is now serious. Vivi stared blankly at the newspaper. Nami also stood up and smiled at Vivi. I'm fine, let's go to Alabasta Kingdom first, after all, there is only one ship. After Nami went out, she discovered the abnormality in the sky, and hurriedly asked Lu Ye's ninja to help. Lu Ye also quickly summoned the Night Bat ninja. Just after the turn was completed, a waterspout suddenly appeared in the distance. Vivi was surprised that Nami's constitution could sense the weather, and added, Nami, my country is suffering a major blow, so get your sick as soon as possible, and then set sail for Alabasta. Lu Ye didn't say anything when he watched this scene. He still didn't have a spell. If there was a rabbit spell, he would directly take the boat and rush over it at supersonic speed. Even the chicken charm will do, but now there is no trick, and you can't take anyone away, there is only one pointer. Ah! With a sigh, Lu Ye turned around and went to practice. Chapter 10 Magnetic Drum Mountain. On the Merry. Hey, what is that? Zoro looked at the figure that appeared in front of him, standing on the sea. The ship suddenly began to sway, and a huge ship appeared from the bottom of the sea. The hull was rounded, and in front of it was a sculpture of a hippo head, with a gorgeous crown on the hippo's head. You have been surrounded by this surprise sailing ship, the White Iron King. There was a threat from the big ship, and rows of soldiers on the deck aimed their rifles at the Merry. Tread! 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 The deck of the Merry was also quickly occupied by soldiers. A man wearing a hippo skin appeared on the deck and took a bite of the ship's railing. After swallowing it, he asked, Do you have any record pointers for the Drum Kingdom? Sorry, I haven't heard of this kind of thing. Sanji responded after taking a breath. After hearing this, the man wearing the hippopotamus skin lowered his head and concentrated on eating the boat. Lu Ye also came out at this time, just in time to see Luffy getting ready to start. Ninja Mask. Lu Ye thought to himself, the original Night Bat ninja mask was replaced by an ordinary ninja mask. Fix them. Lu Ye said in a voice that only he could hear. Just as the soldiers on the deck raised their guns and prepared to design, a ninja suddenly jumped out from behind everyone. The ninjas hit the soldiers directly on the necks, and the soldiers were suddenly attacked. Before they could react to what was coming out from behind their teammates, it was dark in front of them. And when Wapol, who was wearing a hippo, was about to take a second bite, Luffy sent a rubber rocket into the sky. You actually knocked Lord Wapol away. We will definitely be back. After saying that the White Iron King was about to leave, Liu Ye ordered the ninjas to throw the stunned soldiers over, and stunned a group of people on the opposite side. Looking at the White Iron King, which was getting farther and farther away, everyone scattered. One day later. I see the island, I see the island, cried Usopp. Everyone walked out of the cabin and looked forward. The front was white, and snow began to float in the sky. Vivi explained to everyone the various islands of the Great Route. As they got closer and closer, everyone became more and more nervous, because not every island had people. At this time, the ship also entered the port, and a circle of people suddenly appeared around. Everyone was holding guns. Guys in straw hats. Pirates, you are not welcome here, please go out immediately. A man in a thick green coat walked out and looked at the straw hats and said. The people around were also angrily driving, we just want to find a doctor. Luffy said. There are patients on board, Vivi also explained aloud. We won't be fooled. Despicable pirates. Get out of here. Boom. A gunshot hit Sanji's feet. Sanji's face was ugly. Are you going to hit? Liu Ye also secretly summoned a shadow ninja lurking at the feet of everyone. At least the ninja can block it when someone shoots. Boom. There was another gunshot, and the ninja at Vivi's feet suddenly appeared. Pop. Ninjas disappear like bubbles and then regroup. Hey. Liu Ye squinted his eyes. Shhhhhh. More than a dozen ninjas appeared on the Mary, either in front or behind the cover straw hats. A dozen or so ninjas also appeared on the shore with shuriken against the necks of a few lucky audience members, and the surrounding atmosphere instantly became tense. Whoa whoa whoa! Half of the remaining dozens of people raised their guns to aim at the dozen or so ninjas on the shore, and the rest continued to aim at the straw hats. Stop! Liu Ye, stop! Killing can't solve the problem. Bang! Vivi knelt down. I'm so sorry, it was my companion who was so nervous. Please forgive us. Vivi. What are you doing? Luffy wondered. Fighting is not the best solution, don't you know the current situation? Vivi stared at Luffy's eyes. Luffy pressed his straw hat. Liu Ye, put away your men. Okay, Captain. Liu Ye waved his hand with an ugly face. All the ninjas returned to the Shadow Realm. Bang! I'm sorry, my crew was impulsive just now, and I apologize to you as the captain, but we really need a doctor, please help us. Luffy also fell to his knees and bowed his head to the people on the shore. Seeing this scene, Liu Ye also filled his heart with all kinds of feelings, but I'm still not strong enough. Still too few spells. If I had a horse charm, would we beg someone like that? If I have 12 spells, who can stop me in this world? If that's the case, come with me, and I'll take you to the village. After that, the man in green turned his head and walked back, and everyone in the straw hats, except Zoro, stayed to watch the boat. Sanji got off the boat with Nami on his back and followed him. Behind the man in green. After walking for about 20 minutes, everyone walked to a small village, except for those who need to be on guard, everyone should go to work. The man in green said to the people around him. Mr. Dalton, are you all right? They are pirates. Dalton explained, it's okay, it's been my gut feeling for years that they're not going to endanger us. Since Mr. Dalton has said so, let's go first. Then the crowd dispersed. Inside the house. There is only one doctor woman in this country, the witch who lives on the magnetic drum mountain, Dr. Kurha. Dalton explained to the crowd as he pounded the firewood. Then let her come down to save her life. Now there are emergency patients here. Sanji said, looking at the snow-capped mountains. She comes down from time to time to save people, and I heard that she lives with a monster, and now I can only go to the mountains to find her in this weather, Dalton explained. Okay, it's not too late, Luffy, let's go, the two of us, my night bat ninja can fly up with the two of us. Lu Ye stood up and said to Luffy. Okay. Luffy responded by pressing the straw hat. Vivi helped to tie Nami to Luffy's body. Lu Ye and Luffy walked out of the room. Dalton warned them of the danger. There are groups of Laban on the mountain, if you encounter it would be dangerous. Dangerous? Can Labang still fly? Lu Ye asked. Dalton didn't react for a while and responded, you can't fly, but it has nothing to do with whether you can fly. Are you still planning to fly up? Lu Ye smiled and said, you guessed it right, but unfortunately there is no reward. After speaking to Dalton, he asked Luffy, are you ready? We're ready to go. Oh. Luffy pressed the straw hat with one hand and wrapped himself in Nami's body with the other. Seeing that Luffy was ready, Lu Ye said silently, Night Bat Ninja Mask. The mask on Lu Ye's face instantly turned from red to yellow. As soon as Lu Ye waved his hand, 6 ninjas appeared on the ground. 2 ninjas were holding Lu Ye's armpits, 2 of the remaining 4 ninjas were grabbing Luffy's arms, and 2 were hooking the sheets wrapped around Nami. Whoa! The 6 ninjas took Lu Ye, Nami, and Luffy to the magnetic drum mountain. Dalton and Vivi below were dumbfounded. Neither of them knew that Lu Ye could really summon his winged subordinates. Looking at the 3 people who were getting further and further away, Dalton adjusted his mentality and said to Sanji, Usopp and Vivi, come in, it's cold outside. Yet. The 3 responded, and then stepped into the house. Chapter 11 Chopper appears. Lu Ye and Luffy looked at Sigu Mountain, which was getting closer and closer, and took a deep breath. The cold wind from the high altitude made the person stinging pain all over, and the flying speed of the night bat was greatly reduced. Lu Ye waved his hand again and summoned 20 or so night bat ninjas. Surrounded by them, it was a little bit able to block the cold current. 20 minutes. Bang bang! As soon as the 2 reached the top of the drum mountain, Lu Ye was frozen and passed out, and Luffy was also drowsy. Lu Ye's constitution is an ordinary person, and he forgot to change his clothes into cotton-padded clothes. He was wearing a jacket and slacks. Luffy was even more reckless, with a waistcoat on his upper body and shorts on his lower body. The 2 were frozen for 20 minutes at a low temperature of about -35 degrees. If there were no night bat guards, they might have been frozen to death. Crunch crunch! Luffy saw a shadow walking beside him before he fell asleep, struggling to grab the ankle of the person in front of him. Please, save my partner, they have to go on an adventure with me. After that, he fainted. Magnetic Drum Coast. Are we here yet? A man riding a hippo with a hippo skin on his head asked his men. Yes. This is the drum country. Ha ha ha, it's finally here. My kingdom, I'm back. It was Wapol who was kicked away by Luffy in front of him. Top of Sigu Mountain. Inside the castle. Nami opened her eyes and looked around. A yellow animal with a blue nose was stirring something. Who are you? Yet. The blue-nosed animal looked at Nami and ran behind the door, all but her hands exposed, looking at Nami. What are you doing? It seems that you are hiding. Nami just finished speaking, the blue-nosed animal shouted and ran out, Human! You are so long-winded. When Nami looked at the blue-nosed animal running away, she wanted to say something. Behind the door on the other side came an old woman with a wine bottle. It seems that your fever has subsided a little, little girl. He raised his head and took a sip of wine. My name is Dr. Kurha, you can call me Dr. Guriva. The old woman first told Nami about his cause. You're not going to walk on Taku Island with your stomach open, right? Nami suddenly remembered that she took off her top because it was too hot in Little Garden, and now she's a little speechless when she thinks about it. Dr. Guriva introduced the blue-nosed animal just now. It's called Chopper, and it's a reindeer that ate human fruit. Let's not say anything else. Your two friends are recovering from their injuries. You should rest first. It will take at least 3 days to heal after taking my medicine. Yet, Nami replied while lying on the bed looking at the snowy scenery outside the window. Upper floor of Nami's room. Geiji Kwaji Blue Nose. Oh no, it should be Chopper, helping Lu Ye and Luffy change the bandages, thinking of Luffy's voice before fainting. Chopper changed the two. He looked at Lu Ye's face. Chopper was a little scared, but also a little curious. If this person really looks like this, is it possible that he is also abandoned, hated, and most of the human race? What kind of people are afraid of? At this point, Luffy had opened his eyes. Well, he still woke up from hunger. Although he was still frostbitten this time, Luffy's body had been tortured since he was a child. Unlike Lu Ye, after reshaping his body, he volunteered to take Luffy Nami with him before exercising for a few days. Of course, the biggest possibility is that Lu Ye's predecessor grew up in the Central Plains since he was a child. He didn't quite understand the word dripping into ice in the northern region. It's true. Not to mention that at Sigu Mountain at an altitude of 5,000 meters, Luffy looked at the chopper in front of him, as if he saw roast lamb, hoofs, and steamed deer heads. In an instant, he jumped over and gnawed Chopper's antlers. Ah! Help! Humans want to eat me. Humans are unreliable. Chopper took Luffy and ran out. At this time, at the foot of the magnetic drum mountain. Straw Hat Luffy is right up there. Wapol looked at magnetic drum mountain in front of him. At this time, Wapol had already tortured Dalton with blood, but he couldn't forget the pain of flying the straw hat, so he wanted to find Luffy as soon as possible to take revenge. Yes. King. The two left and right next to Wapol responded. Quack my castle. I'm back. Let's go. Wapol headed towards magnetic drum mountain. Top of Sigu Mountain. Inside the castle. Luffy covered his head and looked at Chopper. Hey, be my buddy. It's fun being a pirate. Chopper looked at the man who wanted to eat him just now and couldn't help but be speechless. He wanted to ask him if he was going to use me as a spare fodder. Outside the castle. Drum Kingdom. I'm back. Wapol shouted, looking at the huge castle in front of him. And Chopper inside the castle also heard Wapol's voice. Wapol. It's back. Chopper said to the three people in the house. At this time, Lu Ye was still in a coma. Luffy went down and chased Wapol away with D'Arcalha Chopper, and Dalton at the foot of the mountain, along with the villagers and Sanji Zoro, also caught up on the cable car. Usopp looked at Chopper in front of him. What kind of monster is this? Boom. Don't call him a monster. He's my partner. Luffy punched Usopp in the head. Chopper also turned his head and ran to the jungle because of Usopp's words. Monster. Stop. You're going to be our mate. Luffy said, chasing after Chopper. Yeah. You must be our partner. Reindeer. Time tonight. Ah, my head is so dizzy. Lu Ye finally woke up. Looking at the surrounding scene, he should have been rescued. He seemed to have seen Vivi. Shouldn't Vivi be down there? You're finally awake. Vivi and Nami hurried to the bed. Are you all right? The two asked. My head is a little dizzy, my limbs are weak, and now I need a beautiful hug to get up. Lu Ye made a rare joke. Cut, I can still talk, it seems to be fine. Although Nami said so, but her body was very honest, she bent down and hugged Lu Ye's neck to scoop it up. Vivi also helped support Lu Ye's waist. To be honest, if there was no blessing from the spell, Lu Ye might even be able to hit him one-on-one with Nami. This matter has been passed, and Lu Ye's desire for spells has reached a high level. If there is a horse spell, Will you be sick? What are you afraid of? A broken limb can grow back for you. But it is useless to say more, or the salted fish mentality has harmed me. I was busy in my last life. In this life, I originally thought that it would be a very comfortable thing to roam the world with my favorite anime characters. But he forgot, One Piece/King of Pirates is just blood for you to see, but the core is dark. Under the premise of no strength, the protagonist group was still broken up in Sabayati. Are you okay, Nami? Lu Ye got up and asked Nami. It's all right, but remember to give me 100,000 berries when I pulled you up just now, Nami smiled. Lu Ye twitched the corner of his mouth. Chapter 12 The Monkey Charm and the main quest are on. After resting for a while, Lu Ye felt that his stamina had recovered a little and went out with Nami Vivi, while Luffy was still shouting Chopper's name outside. Sure enough, Chopper refused Luffy's invitation, and everyone went down the mountain with regret. Downhill in the air. Lu Ye looked at the cable car with a sore face. He knew this earlier. As for flying up, he was frozen to death. At this time, Lu Ye was wearing the cotton-padded coat given by Dr. Guriva, which made him feel much warmer. Suddenly there was an explosion. Boom! 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 The pink petals in the sky seemed to be Cyrillic saying goodbye to everyone. At this time, a blue-nosed reindeer in the distance pulled a cart and rushed towards the Straw Hats. On the Mary. Is Chopper all right? Usopp looked aft all the way to Drum Island. Chopper is experiencing what it's like to be a man on a journey. Sanji sighed as he watched Chopper take a breath. Inside the Mary house. Ding! After the hidden task is completed, the protagonist of the Straw Hat crew joins the crew, and a random charm will be rewarded, and the drawing will begin. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the monkey charm. Has the ability to turn any object into an animal. Ah, system, you finally came out, can't you give me some quests? How can I become stronger without a goal? Host, I'm going to clarify this point. It's not that I don't provide tasks to the host, but the system has said from the beginning that it will not be forced to send tasks to the host. And you don't want the host either. If you don't say that you have a task to do, how would I know that you have to do a task? If you don't want to complete the task, it won't reflect the generosity of this system. Lu Ye. Whatever you say is justified, now I want a mission. I want to become stronger. I am even afraid of low temperature. How can I defeat Admiral? How can I feel safe for Robin? How can I protect Loyalkeek? Robin. Lu Ye replied righteously. Ding! Congratulations to the host for opening the main quest. Mission 1, grab the head. The enemy, Shishibukai or above, defeated by the protagonist Luffy, if defeated by the host, will be rewarded with a random spell or mask and a random 8 demon card experience card. Mission 2, Tenryubito. The pretentious group in this world is the biggest barrier to reshape the world. Beating a Tenryubito in front of everyone will reward you with a random spell. Killing Tenryubito in front of everyone will reward you with a random spell to advance once. Mission 3, Marine. Marine represents justice in this world. Although he has to serve the government of Tenryubito, he is also a sword to maintain world peace. Defeating Vice Admiral rewards a random spell piece. Defeat Marine Admiral to reward 6 pieces of designated spells. Mission 4, Shishibukai. Defeating Shishibukai rewards a random spell piece. Killing Shishibukai will reward you with 3 random spells. Mission 5, the 4 Emperors of the Great Pirates. Defeating the 4 Emperors will reward you with 6 random spells. Killing the 4 Emperors will reward you with 3 random spells. Hidden quests turned into side quests. Each member of the protagonist Straw Hats will be rewarded with a random spell, and every 1,000 members of the non-protagonist group will be rewarded with a random spell. Lu Ye had nothing to say at this time, but he still didn't give up, because what was the main quest? No side quests. The system is huge, let's not say anything else, why isn't there a side quest? Lu Ye said with an apologetic smile. Host, you must know that all the spells are randomly exploded. If the side quest randomly explodes a dog spell for you, will you still be motivated? You are afraid that you will not just salt the fish. The main quests are all set for the growth of the host. The host still works hard to finish it. The system replied. Okay, okay. Lu Ye was also speechless, listening to the cheers from outside and vaguely hearing Chopper's voice. It was time to say hello to his new partner. Chopper, look like this, put chopsticks in your nose and press your mouth. Luffy performed his tricks to Chopper again. Chopper followed Luffy's way, and everyone laughed. Crunch, the door opened and Lu Ye walked out, looking at Chopper in front of him. Chopper was still turning his back to Lu Ye and trying to stick his nose like Luffy. Are you all right, Lu Ye? Luffy asked. Why are you so weak with your small body? You are obviously very strong. Look at Luffy, eat a meal and recover directly. Zoro's eyes made Lu Ye have the urge to beat him, but he remembered that he couldn't beat him now, so he ignored it. Well, much better. Lu Ye replied. Chopper heard a voice behind him and turned his head to see who it was. It was fine if he didn't turn his head. As soon as he turned his head, Chopper ran behind Nami in fright. Ghost! Help! It's a monster! It's a ghost! Whatever it is. It's scary. Nami also looked at Lu Ye speechlessly at this time. Hey! Lu Ye! You can't take off your broken mask at night. Hearing this, Lu Ye shrugged. He originally came out to get to know Chopper, and he had to take off his mask. System, take back the mask, Lu Ye murmured. The mask on his face spread out like a black mist and was sucked back by his eyebrows. Chopper also looked at Lu Ye's true face after taking off the mask, with a straight nose, black pupils, bright teeth and bright eyes, black broken hair, and red skin. Including Vivi is also the first time to see a man who is whiter than a girl, and is envious of his real name G. Lu Ye, your skin is so good. It's so tender. Vivi looked at it and even poked Lu Ye's face. I'm born? Lu Ye looked at the sky speechlessly. After remodeling, he had a baby-like skin that couldn't be changed, and he still wore a mask to hide his face. Ah! I thought it was a monster. Bad guy. Scare me. Baga. Ah, Lu Ye. Your skin is so tender. How can you look like a woman? Luffy said, reaching out and dragging Lu Ye's face. Tic-tac-toe black lines appeared on Lu Ye's face. Luffy. I have good news for you. You are going to become a pig. Lu Ye's hand grabbed Luffy's arm as soon as the words fell, and activated the monkey charm. Ability. Bang. Humph. Humph. Luffy, who turned into a pig, ran around, but Lu Ye was surprised to find that Luffy could still use his abilities. The whole pig will be elongated and become a pig-headed man. After a while it swells up like a balloon again. Lu Ye, what's the matter with Luffy? Chopper pulled Lu Ye's shirt, and the rest of the crowd looked at Lu Ye in amazement. The curiosity in their eyes was self-evident. This is my newly developed ability, that is, it can turn a human or an animal such as Usopp. You are going to turn into a mantis. After saying that, Lu Ye aimed at Usopp to activate his ability, and a laser hit Usopp. Usopp's body emitted a faint fluorescence, and the fluorescence scattered a huge mantis standing in front of the crowd. Swish swish! The mantis that Usopp turned into waved the sickle around, looked at Lu Ye in horror, and ran towards Lu Ye. Lu Ye also knew why he ran over, so he launched another monkey spell to change Usopp back. Woohoo is too scary, Lu Ye. Too much. Usopp protested loudly. Everyone ignored Usopp and looked at the pig that Luffy had turned into. Hum hum hum. Hum hum hum. Luffy said, he's so handsome. Can you turn him into a Aquaman? Chopper translated to the crowd. everyone. Lu Ye waved his hand to release Luffy's transformation. Oh! Lu Ye! He's so handsome! He's so handsome! I'm going to become a Sea King! Luffy excitedly surrounded Lu Ye and shouted to make Lu Ye turn him into a Sea King. I don't know if it can be changed, but now it's at sea. I think that even if you are turned into an animal by me, your ability has not disappeared. What if you become a Sea King and you directly crush the ship? No, you can try it when you go ashore later. Lu Ye refused. Ah, we still have to wait for the shore. Luffy lost his motivation in an instant, lying on the railing and staring at the sea. At this time, Chopper had also been conquered by Lu Ye's monkey spell's ability to change, and stared at Lu Ye with starry eyes. Lu Ye rubbed Chopper's head. You are so cute, Chopper, good night, I'm going to bed. Long-winded. Even if you praise me for being cute, I won't be happy. Good night Lu Ye. Chopper twisted his body and waved his little hoof at Lu Ye. Lu Ye, who returned to the cabin, was also thinking that the monkey spell can only be turned into an animal, but before now it was in One Piece/King of Pirates, and the animals in the world of One Piece/King of Pirates are all big. Terrifying. Not to mention the Sea Kings in the sea, there are dinosaurs in Little Garden, and the island where Luffy was trained by Rayleigh, each animal is about 10 meters high. Thinking about these possibilities, Lu Ye is also blind. Stop fighting. Wait and try again on land, in case you can become a beast in the world of pirates. The monkey spell becomes a beast is not only a form, it can be said that it even inherits the power, plus the power bonus of the bull spell, hehe. Lu Ye fell asleep thinking about the dream of punching Admiral and stepping on the 4 emperors. Chapter 13 Soar in the Blue Sky. The next morning. On the deck of the Mary, the sun was just right. Lu Ye, Zoro, Usopp and Sanji were playing the landlord game, and Usopp got the landlord. Pair of threes. I only have 1 card left now. Zoro, how can you beat me? Usopp felt that this hand was lucky, and pressed all the way, and Zoro still had 17 cards to play. Oh? That's right. Lu Ye, Sanji, don't play your cards. Okay, let us go. Green Algae Head, if you lose, you will lose your life. Haha, Zoro 17 cards, can you beat me? You can beat me. I'm going to kick off Crocodile's head now, and his ashes will be lifted. Usopp was already swollen and fearless. Lu Ye was already stunned at this time. How could these words sound so familiar? But he shook his head to remove the distracting thoughts. Zoro also hit a lore, yet. Over. Usopp was fearless. Zoro has 15 more, so don't panic. Big ship, Zoro said and put the rest of the deck in front of Usopp. Ah. I have a disease that will kill me after a game of cards. I'm going to rest. Usopp was about to run away after speaking. Zoro was about to say something when he suddenly found a dark shadow descending from the sky. Boom! The Mary was also smashed up. Lu Ye and the others crawled out from under the shadow and found a giant eagle. Luffy also crawled out of the giant eagle's mouth. Sanji. This is our meal. Usopp was still making Zoro happy for Luffy's interruption, and Nami also came up at this time, calling a few people down to decide how to defeat Crocodile. At this time, Lu Ye wanted to do an experiment. Since the monkey charm can be turned into an animal, the giant eagle in front of him is an ordinary animal in the world of pirates. If it can become the giant eagle in front of him, then can it be turned into a Luffy cultivation island in the future? The beast, if possible, not to mention the ability to fight Vice Admiral, or even Rear Admiral, even ordinary marine soldiers are not afraid to come to a company. She thought about making a decision, but Nami's words interrupted Lu Ye's thoughts. Lu Ye. What are you doing? Come here. Thought, Lu Ye said, unable to extricate himself. Wait. Nami. I'll do the experiment. If it succeeds, I'll be invincible. Haha. Lu Ye excitedly returned to Nami and then turned to study how to become the giant eagle in front of him. What kind of experiment? Hearing that Lu Ye was going to do an experiment, Luffy ran up again curiously, and Chopper stared at Lu Ye with big eyes. At this time, Lu Ye had already used the power of the monkey spell on himself, turning into an eagle in front of him. 3 seconds passed, as if sand slipped from his hand. Lu Ye is also a little confused. Do you have to know the name of an animal if you want to change it? But I am not an encyclopedia, if I become an animal on the earth. They are all people who have watched the animal world since childhood, and know the general habits, appearance, and names, so when they say their names, all kinds of animal information will emerge in their minds. What is going on in front of them? System. The system is out. My monkey charm is broken. Don't you lose 10? Lu Ye shouted to the system in his heart. Host, please don't worry, the monkey charm has not expired, and the host does not need to shout to become an animal, but the animal must exist in reality, and even the host only needs to know what the animal looks like, and the monkey charm can help the host become the creature. Then I want to become the creature in front of me, why is it useless? Don't I already know what this eagle looks like? Host, please don't worry, because the two time and space are not the same, so the monkey charm only includes the previous world, which is the Earth's biological illustration. The monkey charm in this time and space is not included in the biological illustration, so there is no way to become a creature of this world. Host, please re-record. Lu Ye, so how do you record it? What do you do when you look at the eagle in front of you? Host, please put your hand on the body of the creature you want to include, and just recite that creature in your heart. That's it. It's a bit troublesome, but if it's really successful, can I copy the Sea Kings? But with my current small body, it's a long way to go. Lu Ye was a little excited. After all, this was another step on the road of his invincibility, and the Nami people outside only knew that Lu Ye didn't blink when he looked at the corpse of the giant eagle in front of him. Lu Ye shook his head, shook off his sorrow, took a step forward, put his hand on the corpse of the giant eagle in front of him, and meditated to start recording this creature. Lu Ye's voice just fell, and a monkey-shaped hexagonal symbol appeared in the palm of his hand. When, the whole palm also emits a faint yellow fluorescence. Everyone outside looked at Lu Ye's appearance and didn't dare to let out the air. Nami and Vivi Sanji felt that Lu Ye was doing something important. And Luffy, Usopp and Chopper are all, I don't understand, but they look amazing. Zoro sits down against the wall again, it looks like he is going to sleep again. At this time, the light from Lu Ye's palm had covered the body of the giant eagle, but it returned to Lu Ye's palm in about 3 seconds. Hey? That's it? Lu Ye looked at the monkey spell that had disappeared. Already? Then try again, become a giant eagle. While speaking, he was also thinking about the appearance of the giant eagle in front of him. Whoa! The whole ship was covered by a pair of huge wings, and the Straw Hats, including Zoro, were shocked. Lu Ye looked at the people in the Straw Hats below, and was extremely satisfied with this successful transformation. Moreover, the giant eagle's body was very large, and the length of its bare body was nearly 10 meters. The wingspan is 25 meters. If the wings are spread sideways, it can cover the entire Mary. It's amazing. Luffy, Usopp and Chopper's eyes lit up. Luffy jumped directly on Lu Ye's back. Usopp and Chopper also hugged Lu Ye's feet. Although Lu Ye could send voice, but can't speak human language, so screamed and spread its wings to take off. Chirp! Call! Lu Ye took the three of Luffy to the sky. Nami and the others on the boat were stunned and looked at the huge black shadow that flew farther and farther. Sanji's smoke also fell to the ground at this time. At this time, Lu Ye, who was flying into the sky, was also flying around the Mary. The dream of human beings has always been to be able to fly. Although he is a beast at this time, I have to say that with the perspective of an eagle, we can see not only far, but also you can see the shocked faces of several people on the merry. Ha ha ha! Lu Yet! It's so fun! It will turn me into an eagle after a while. Luffy wrapped his hands around Lu Yi's neck to prevent it from falling, and stretched his head to Lu Yi's ear, shouting loudly into Lu Yi's ear, shaking. Lu Yi's ears hurt. Tweet. Lu Ye couldn't speak, so he could only make a sound to protest, and then suddenly spun 360 degrees and threw the three people off him. Luffy actually let go of his hand and fell down with Chopper and the others. And Lu Ye originally wanted to play a game with them, although he seemed to cry when he saw Chopper and Usopp. Ah! Why did Lu Ye throw me down? Chopper's aggrieved face huddled together. Ah! It must be revenge. Revenge for me playing cards to steal his landlord. Could it be that I put smelly socks on him while he was sleeping? Usopp deeply suspected that this was Lu Yi's revenge. Ha ha ha! Have fun! Luffy is different from the two, he is enjoying the feeling of falling from a high altitude, because he knows that his partner will not harm him. Swish! Tweet! With an eagle chirping, a black shadow caught the three of them when they were about to fall into the water, and then flew towards the merry. Chapter 14 I Want to Play Too. Bang! The whole ship of the merry turned up again. Lu Ye then returned to human beings. Although flying in the sky is fun, but now it is at sea. The endless blue is blue, and what's the point of occasionally seeing a few bare reefs? Ha ha ha, Lu Ye, quickly turn me into a big bird, and I want to fly too. Luffy couldn't wait to run over and asked Lu Ye to turn him into an eagle too. Not now. Lu Ye refused mercilessly. Why? Luffy's spirit slumped in an instant. I want to play. Lu Ye, you play for me. No way. As long as you play, you don't have any B numbers in your heart. You are still a devil fruit person. If you fly over your head and don't have the strength to fall into the sea, if we are not by your side, you won't know how to die. Dead. Lu Ye has a deep understanding of Luffy's recklessness, so he will never let him turn into an eagle at sea. Why? Luffy walked towards the stairs with a blue face. Luffy, I said you can't do it now, but I didn't say when. When you get to the island, I'll turn you into an eagle and fly to the sky, okay? Lu Ye looked at Luffy's ability to instantly become an old man in his 70s and 80s, really twitched the corners of the eyes. Really? Lu Ye's words count. Luffy rushed to the kitchen suddenly full of energy. Sanji. My eagle meat. I want to eat half of it. Lu Ye, where are we? Chopper and Usopp gathered around again. It's the same for you, save your strength now, we don't have that much food. Lu Ye turned around and walked into the room to continue exercising. The next day, Lu Ye rubbed his eyes and came out to eat breakfast. To be honest, Sanji's cooking skills are really not covered. Anyway, it is much more delicious than the takeaway in the hotel he used to eat. Luffy. I ask you. Our food. Why did it evaporate overnight? I clearly divided it according to our number. Outside the door, Lu Ye didn't see breakfast, but saw Sanji questioning Luffy about the food. Lu Ye's bad premonition flooded his body instantly. I don't know. I didn't eat it. I made 4. Luffy's eyes flickered and he explained to Sanji dancing. It's a pity, Luffy's level of lying is really not covered. The lying expression is written on his face. Luffy, what's on your mouth? Sure enough, Sanji just cheated Luffy. Luffy covered it suddenly. Shut up, yet. I forgot to wipe it up after eating. It really is you. Bang. Sanji kicked Luffy against the wall with an annoyed kick, then turned to look at Karoo, Usopp, Chopper, who were still chewing food, and slowly walked behind the three of them, placing his hands on the outside of the two of them. Next to the head, squeeze hard to the middle, bang. 3 died. Lu Ye is very sick now. It seems that he has no food to eat today. He doesn't dare to exercise anymore after thinking about it, so he climbed to the observation deck and lay down to blow the sea breeze. Time to noon. Lu Ye covered his stomach. Now he is exercising every day, the energy he needs is twice as much as before, but he still has no food to eat. Zoro went to sleep and kept his consumption low, but he couldn't sleep, and the more he slept, the more hungry he became. Luffy and Usopp tied up Vivi's buddy Karu and used it as bait to fish. I want to catch a big shark. I want to catch a sea king. When the two were still dreaming of catching a big and delicious fish, Vivi walked behind them. What are you doing? Vivi opened the two of them and went down one look. What did you guys do to Karu? Bang! Lu Ye glanced at the smoking two people who were beaten up again, looked back to the front of the boat, and found a rainbow fog appeared in front of him. Vivi! Shout out Nami! There is a fog ahead! Lu Ye shouted to Vivi. Okay. Vivi responded and ran to the control room. Nami, come out and see what's going on. Vivi finished talking to Nami eagerly. Before Nami could react, she took Nami's hand and ran out. Ah, it's okay, it's just because there are volcanoes underground that this kind of colorful fog appears at sea. Nami explained to everyone. As soon as Nami's voice fell, the boat entered the fog. Cough, cough, and cough, cough. The sound of the boat was endless, and Lu Ye was also choked, and then your nose is still very close to smell. A minute later, the boat also rushed out of the fog, and just after everyone took a breath of fresh air, Luffy and Usopp found Karu holding a person in a swan costume. Ah! Why would I hug a flying spot-billed duck? Said the man. Is he human? I don't know. Luffy and the two had another friendly exchange with Patience. Ah! The man shouted and fell. Help! Help! I can't swim. Usopp and Zoro used a pole to pick up the man who fell into the water. Ah! I was rescued by a pirate I didn't know. Thank you so much, said the man. Lu Ye looked at the man on the observation deck, and suddenly remembered who he was, because he pretended to be Magellan of the submarine prison during the war on the top, deceived the guards of the Gate of Justice, and let Luffy's warship reach the top of the war smoothly. After thinking about it, I don't care, although I really want to try whether he copied his original face or the mask. In the original setting, he couldn't take off the magic mask without the magic mask. Now I don't know what the system has done. The change can be freely recovered, and Bentham below has punched Luffy in the face. Hey! Zoro put his sword in both hands instantly. Mummy, what do you think I am now? Bentham shook his hands and took his hands off his face. Ah! This is me. Although it's not as powerful as Lu Ye's becoming a big bird, it's still handsome. Luffy picked up the hat from the ground and put it on, looking at Bentham's face and voice exactly like his and said. Of course. This is my ability, the ability to imitate fruit. Bentham touched the faces of Usopp and Nami Zoro Chopper in turn. I'm going to perform a sideshow for everyone. After saying that, he touched his face with his right hand, and every time he touched it, he changed a person. When he finally changed to Nami, he said to a few people, my ability can even imitate my figure. Oh, after saying that, he pulled off his clothes. Oh! Duan Bentham was knocked to the ground by the Straw Hat's super strength Nami, and Lu Ye was a little regretful at this time. Standing so high, he couldn't see anything clearly, and he lost blood. Bentham got up and danced happily with the three of Luffy. Nami walked over to Zoro and looked at the captain and crew of the three small children, shaking her head with a headache. 10 minutes later, Bentham's boat also arrived next to the Mary, and Bentham and Luffy said goodbye. Little ones! Let's go! Boss Clay! Watching Bentham's swan getting farther and farther away, the Straw Hats finally woke up except for Vivi and Lu Ye. It turned out that the person who came just now was a senior agent from the Baroque Works room. Vivi also said it at this time, just saw his father's face in Bentham's sideshow. Then what should we do? Everyone understood that Bentham was the enemy, and he had already imitated most of the boats. Finally, Nami proposed a method of tying white strips on his arms, and everyone helped each other to tie each other's arms on the white strip. After drifting at sea for another hour, I finally saw the island. From a distance, it was a desert. Suddenly, a sea king appeared at the stern of the boat, with a cat head and a cat claw body. I have already started to think about how to pull it back to the boat. When Lu Ye saw it, he jumped down instantly. If he could become the Sea King in front of him, although he was a younger brother, no, he was a grandson-level Sea King, but he would have attack power anyway. Whoever dares to drive a boat to chase, I will go underwater to dig your boat, as long as the strength is not above the Rear Admiral level. Even some Rear Admiral who rely on the ability of the Devil Fruit can't do it. But Lu Yi's dream of underwater domination was shattered by the subsequent Vivi broom blow. Boom! Do nt eat it. Sea cat is a sacred animal of Alabasta. Vivi held a broom, akimbo, and warned everyone with anger. Ah, my combat power has just dropped a lot. Although Lu Ye wanted to explain that he just wanted to copy it, he opened his mouth and still didn't say it. It was a huge loss. Lu Ye sat on the ground in disappointment, thinking about life. Where am I? What am I going to do? You've reached the end of part 1. Want to know what happens next? Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue listening. Join Patreon and continue the story from part 2. Thank you for listening and supporting the channel.